People should not be worried about where they're going to park or how much they're going to pay for parking if they're coming to the city to spend money.
We are told that these new meters should be installed sometime in the fall, with this new system up and running by 2026. Reporting in Royal Oak, I'm Robin Murdoch, Fox 2 News.
Well, Detroit police are on the hunt for 3 men wanted in connection to a deadly shooting on the city's east side. Now, this is a picture of the victim, Michael Davis. He was killed last Tuesday in the area of East Otter Drive in Van Dyke. Police say 3 men wearing all black approached Davis, opened fire, and took off in a dark gray Chevy SUV with dark rims. Anyone with information is asked to call Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers. There's a $5,000 reward for any information that moves the case forward. In Melvindale, police are investigating after a body was discovered at a local park. Officers responding to McGinney Park off of Robert Street. The body was found near a shed. Right now, it's unclear who the victim is or the circumstances around their death. Stay with Fox 2 for updates. Well, Detroit teenager is being held behind bars without bond after he allegedly crashed into a Madison Heights man and killed him over the weekend. Roseville police say they tried to stop the 16-year-old suspect near 94 in Gratiot because he was behind the wheel of a stolen car. That kicked off a chase on westbound 696 before officers say the suspect blew a red light at 11 Mile in Van Dyke and barreled into Alex Habib, who was out Ubering there Saturday morning. The 28-year-old father of 2 died, leaving his family and co-workers heartbroken.
I mean, they're obviously devastated. It's a senseless accident. I mean, just my own personal opinion, I just don't know why these high-speed chases continue to happen and people are senselessly taken from their families over a car, a piece of metal.
A GoFundMe to help Habib's family has now raised more than $80,000. If you would like to donate, there's a link on our website, fox2detroit.com. Well, balloons soar high into the sky in honor of an Eastpointe McDonald's manager who was brutally murdered on the job. Friends, family, and customers came together last night to honor the life of 39-year-old Jennifer Harris. She spent 15 years working for McDonald's. As a single mom, she devoted her time toward supporting her children and helping others along the way. That all came to a horrific halt when police say her co-worker, Afeni Muhammad, stabbed her to death last Thursday.
It means so much to see everyone here today. Family, friends, crew, customers, because it shows just how many lives Jennifer touched, both in this restaurant and in our community.
She was just a real loving person. Like, she really cared about her family. She only talked about her family and everything, all positive stuff. And she just loved her coworkers. Like, she really loved her coworkers. She was outgoing to the customers. She was taking care of the customers. She was being respectful.
A GoFundMe has been set up to raise money for Harris's children. We have a link to that on our website, fox2detroit.com. Well, the Michigan State University Surplus Store is asking customers to be careful if they bought any pens last week. They could contain a sharp surprise. Now, if you pull the pen apart, a knife blade is inside. The pens were in a box marked free during the July 8th teacher sale. If you have one of the knife pens, you're asked to contact the store. Well, Michigan's newest country music festival is over before it even began. Organizers of the Country Roads Music Festival have postponed the concert until next year. It was supposed to begin on Friday at the Groves of Michigan in Brooklyn. The concert promoter released a statement saying, "Our goal has always been to create something meaningful for this community, and we want to give it the time and care it deserves." They say all tickets will be fully refunded. Well, after being closed during the pandemic for the first time in years, a couple of quarters in downtown Northville are back open. It comes after a ruling by a judge. Fox 2's Josh Landon explains.
Indeed, it's been quite the talker here in downtown Northville. We're talking about Main and Center Streets in the downtown area, and you can see right behind me the barriers, the roadblocks have been brought down. The decision by the city to close Main and Center Streets during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic was to allow for more social distancing for outdoor dining. The group Let's Open Northville, a collaboration of business and property owners in the area, argued in a lawsuit that the closures contradict not only the city's charter but state law as well. Wayne County Circuit Judge Charlene Elder sided last week with the plaintiffs and ordered the city to bring down the roadblocks on Main and Center Streets in downtown by midnight today. Let's open Northville's lawsuit followed by City Council's decision in 2022 to permanently close the two streets despite the recommendation of Northville's Downtown Development Authority to permanently reopen Center Street and keep Main Street closed for seasonal purposes. Now, we spoke with a few residents who live here in Northville. They are giving mixed reaction on the decision. We also spoke with Kate Knight, Executive Director of the Downtown Development Authority. Here's what they all had to say.
We've been living in Northville now for 10 years. We had our daughters 4 years ago, and we really enjoy the safety of the streets being closed to traffic and just business being thriving and restaurants that we can visit.
We're responding to a court order. It's been a long time in the making here, but we had a short window to really open the streets and activate for traffic, vehicular access. And so we've done that. As of last night, the streets are open, very calm, a great execution of dropping these bollards. And they provide a lot of flexibility. So in the future, we'll be able to create space, public space for public events, for special events, including a lot of our concert series, which we've been running for years downtown.
Once again, you have a lot of mixed reaction on this decision, but nevertheless, Center and Main Streets, a key location in downtown Northville, is back open. Along with the businesses, people can come out and enjoy. In Northville, Josh Landon, Fox 2 News.
Well, the MLB's biggest stars are taking center stage tonight. We get a first look at all the fun happening in Atlanta up next. Oh shit, we didn't. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. I'm your host, Bree Teamer, and you are looking live. You were looking live out at downtown Detroit, where it is 84 degrees. Beautiful day out there. 1:11 is the time. Let's check in with Stephanie Mead, see what's happening out there. Is this a good 84-degree day, or is this kind of a muggy, sticky 84-degree day?
You know, we were talking about this actually back in the weather office, because we've had mixed reviews on whether it's, you know, muggy or not. So I guess it's really dependent, I guess, on the person. But for me personally, I don't think it's that bad.
No.
It's, of course, we have like a tinge of uncomfortableness to the air, but it's not like super oppressive by any means. So I guess it's a personal thing. But for those, if you want to step outside in the 2 o'clock hour, you can talk to me in the 3 o'clock hour and let me know what you think it is. But I think it feels nice outside. You kind of detailed it nicely.
Beautiful day.
It feels nice out there. We do have an air quality alert. I don't think it's anything to have people like going around crazy about. It is at least a little bit hazy because of the wildfire smokes, but also because of ozone. And that should expire later on today. All of those counties in gray, so that does include the entirety of southeast Michigan. So live look over Southfield right now, you can see that haze in the air too. Our smoke model shows that should move out as we head through the day tomorrow and Thursday. Now, as we head through the middle part of the week, there could be some showers that bring in additional smoke from the upper levels of the atmosphere, especially late Thursday. But as a whole, the next couple of days, we do see those at least conditions improve. Temps right now mainly in the mid-80s, 84 in the city, 83 in Lansing, 82 in Port Huron. Our dew point readings in the grand scheme of things, really not that bad. It's a bit more stuffy out near Chicago, Illinois, and then out near Wisconsin, where they are seeing upper 60s in Green Bay and also into parts of Minneapolis and Minnesota. We're in the low 60s. We have a few more 50s also sprinkled in there as well. So honestly, not that bad. And we don't really have those huge heat indice values right now. Mid-80s is what it feels like here across the state. 85 is what it feels like in the city of Detroit. Now, we're not seeing much moisture right now. However, of course, that is going to change as we head through the day on Wednesday. We have a marginal risk across the entire state. Bullseye of severe weather is in northern Illinois and parts of southern Wisconsin. Our Fox Futurecast model shows dry conditions for the rest of the day today. Now, as we head through the day tomorrow, especially through the afternoon, we have that chance of some shower and thunderstorm chances beginning to bubble up. Maybe an isolated stronger to severe thunderstorm coming out of this, especially tomorrow evening. So between 4 and 7 o'clock is that window of opportunity there. And then we'll see those storm chances diminish late Wednesday into Thursday. A little bit more commotion up near northern parts of the state, but as a whole, we do see better conditions during the evening hours come Wednesday. Highs today approaching 90 degrees for some spots. As we head through the afternoon, we'll hit the upper 80s by around the 5, 6 o'clock hour, then start to see those numbers come down. Lows tonight will be in the lower 70s. We'll start to see our humidity levels increase though as we head through the overnight. So you might notice a slight more humidity as we head through Wednesday into Thursday, mid-80s for a high Wednesday into Thursday as well, with those shower and thunder shower chances around too. It's not going to be completely wet, but we do see those sporadically developing here and there. Now, this upcoming weekend, we see our next opportunity for some showers, maybe a few claps of thunder. With that too, we see increasing humidity levels as well. So it's just kind of an up and down roller coaster over the next couple of days in terms of those humidity levels. What is sticking around is the warmth and the heat, and it looks like a good chunk of the country has been really warm the past couple of days and past couple of weeks, and that's not changing as we head into the next couple of days, unfortunately. So if you're not liking the heat, then this isn't your forecast. We do see a little bit of a break from it, upper 80s or upper 70s near 80 by Friday, but then our next chance of rain arriving Saturday, Sunday. That increases temps with most of us in the middle 80s.
I'm not really too mad about this forecast.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not bad.
It's all 80-degree temperatures. The only thing that I'm like about is the chance of rain.
For sure. Yeah, it's kind of been around from time to time. Even this past weekend, we saw that rain chance both Saturday and also on Sunday too. So it's just very spotty, and it's not going to be an all-day rain, but it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're making those plans outdoors.
All right. Thank you, Steph.
Yeah.
Well, the MLB is taking over Atlanta, getting ready for tonight's Major League All-Star game. Baseball's best from the American League and National League will face off in the 95th Midsummer Classic. Fox's Caroline Elliott joins us live from Truist Park in Atlanta with more from outside the stadium, where it looks super exciting. Caroline, what's happening out there?
Well, Bree, right now, 7 hours before this game starts, it's already a very exciting atmosphere at the Battery. And anyone who's been here before knows this is one of the best, one of the most fun stadiums really in the country. You can hear some of that music even blaring with a lot of families here and a lot of friends pre-gaming right before the game. Now we know by the first pitch tonight, we're told 40,000 fans will be here to pack the stadium. And again, we also know that fans, players, and league officials selected 81 players around the country to compete in tonight's game. And some fans tell us that they got here a day early to hopefully meet some of the very best in the game.
We can see some of the players during the red carpet.
Ready to go. Got here early enough, and yeah, excited to see the festivities and people start showing up. So.
Now Atlanta is hosting the MLB All-Star game for the third time, but it's the first time here at Truist Park. Back in 2021, the MLB pulled the game from Atlanta after Georgia passed voting laws that tightened voter ID and limited the number of ballot drop boxes per county. Now, those laws are still in place today, but fast forward 4 years, and here we are again in Atlanta, ready to go. And I have to say, these fans have to be some of the most dedicated out there because, again, it's in the 90s today. And, again, this place is expected to still be packed.
Yeah, Caroline, the game doesn't start until 8 o'clock, but it seems like everyone is ready. They're festive. They're celebrating along with the announcers back there in the back, too. Everyone's just super excited for this game, as well as we are here right here in Detroit. We got 6 players on the team this year, so it'll be a great game. Caroline, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bree.
Well, when it comes to flying, we all have our travel pet peeves, but this latest one is sparking a lot of opinions online. We'll see what one couple did and hear your thoughts on this one. That's just after the break. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit live. We want to take you live now.
There's no pets out there. I hope there's no people out there.
Appears to be some sort of car chase here, police chase. There is an armed suspect in the car. He's right there driving down the street, and that white, looks like a van. We'll get a closer look once the camera pans out a little bit closer to it. But this is happening right in downtown Los Angeles, it appears. This is video coming straight from one of our sister stations out there, Fox 11. But it looks like the police have not been able to catch this vehicle, as they have just been riding around the city, cutting turns and seeing what's happening. We are just waiting to see what happens. This is a big deal. Whenever there's a police chase, we like to show you and take it so you can see what's happening. We don't really have too many out here in the Metro Detroit area, but they happen quite often in the LA area. So this is something that we definitely want to show you. We can see how this is getting national attention right now. This is actually coming from Live Now. Fox 11 is the original source, but Live Now is also taking this. This is national news right now, breaking national news. LAPD is just following this car, waiting for them to catch it here. And that white van, it does appear to be some sort of SUV, mini SUV, a smaller SUV. And looks like he's behind that car right now. We're just gonna leave it here and see what happens.
Familiar with, but it does seem a bit random because although staying in the proximity of this area, he or she doesn't seem to want to go much farther. No freeways at this point. We've been following this for quite a while now, and it just keeps, he or she keeps going in circles.
Well, you know, that's right. And, you know, I was wondering exactly what hospital they kept talking about. There's many in this area. I just got information, solid information, that it's Valley Presbyterian. So apparently it started at Valley Presbyterian Hospital. And whoever this person dropped off at the hospital, unknown if they're injured, unknown what the circumstances are, but that was the person that said the driver inside that vehicle, armed and dangerous. Multiple guns is actually the word that they use. Not just one. And so that was the reason why LAPD got behind him or was trying to stop this vehicle. But you can see that erratic driving. And then, of course, you factor in the fact that this person may be armed or probably is armed. And whatever the reasons are, you know, this just makes a very, very dangerous situation for the public. LAPD, they're doing what they can to kind of keep everybody alert about what's going on. And you are correct. He stays in these we're basically in that same neighborhood. We have not left Van Nuys proper since this pursuit is started, and it just continues on out there. You can see that vehicle making those wide turns. He's been very, very lucky with traffic, except for that one time that you mentioned where he actually had to back up to get to a parking lot, because it seems like this person is playing this game of playing this game of I got to keep this car moving or there's going to be a problem, because we have yet to see this vehicle actually stop. It's always moving. It's at high speeds, not so high speeds, wrong side of the road. Look at that. Just imagine it's your loved one is driving along on the road right there on Van Owen, and then all of a sudden you've got this car barreling down double the speed limit.
It seems like there's a lot going on. Apparently, the driver of this vehicle was at the hospital or some sort of hospital situation where he eventually sped off and started down the road and just going around and around the streets. It doesn't seem like he has a destination in mind right now. He did just make a left, which indicates that he's switching up his route just a little bit here. But for the most part, it seems like he's going around and around the same patterns. No shape, size, or form. It seems like police have not been able to catch this guy, but reports do say that he is armed in that vehicle, and he's pretty dangerous. So we are just waiting to see what happens here. If police are able to catch him, or if they are not able to catch him, or if we'll catch that catch live right here on Fox 2 Detroit Live. We'll see what happens here in just a moment. We see him swerving in and out of traffic, going behind vehicles, in front of vehicles. The vehicles don't really seem to be fazed at this point by his driving, but he is just going around in circles and circles. So So hopefully they're able to catch him at some point here. Now that hospital that I mentioned a little bit ago is right there, that big building that he just turned the corner around not too long ago before this turn. Now it looks like we're getting some sort of second view of everything that's going on out there. He's making that turn again. He's just turning around the corner, and it doesn't seem like he plans on stopping anytime soon. He's backing up. He's backing up, and looks like police may have finally caught him. Maybe. Is it going to happen? Looks like we're almost there. You can see the shadow of the chopper that just flew above it. So they got eyes on this guy or gal. Anyway he goes or she goes, they are going to know where this car is going. Seems like he is. That's the hospital right there in the corner, I believe. And that's where he originally was before he started this chase here, this high-speed chase. Seems like he's bouncing back between 60 to 50 miles per hour, backing up and just driving around, seeing what's happening here. Now, I'm not too familiar with this area, but we do know that it's LA, and LA somewhere. We know LA is a pretty big city, A lot going on down there, but it does seem like drivers are not very fazed by this. They are just moving out of the way for this guy, which is great. Hopefully no one gets hurt while they are on this pursuit, while LAPD is on this pursuit here. Now, it looks like we got a license plate. Now, this is a Buick SUV, all white. License plate does not look like a California license plate, so maybe some sort of rental or someone from out of town, some situation like that. But this is a smaller SUV. It's just moving and cruising through the city as police try to catch this person here behind the wheel. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, hopefully police will have caught this driver here. We'll be right back.
We don't, though, know if
Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. We are continuing to follow that police chase out in Los Angeles, where police were pursuing an armed suspect. It seems like that chase has come to a halt. The driver has surrendered. He backed out slowly with his hands up, got on the ground, and he's laying there now. He has surrendered to police, so that police chase has come to an end. Looks like he's a white male. Couldn't really get a good look at his face or anything like that, so not sure on his age or anything like that. I'll be looking into this and maybe bring you some updates in our 3 o'clock hour, see what's happening. But that chase has officially come to an end after going round and round and round. All right, let's talk to Ronya about some things. Ronya Shimona is here to give us an update on, what are you giving us an update on today? Some trending stuff?
Well, actually, we begin with the latest TikTok trend. This one has a lot of doctors saying, do not try this. And that's because some users are deciding to swap their lip liners for Sharpie markers.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look.
My lips with Sharpie because it lasts all day. I posted a video of this. And people were like, oh my gosh, that's not right. That's not. I'm not a professional. I literally took like 2 tequila shots before doing this. But you know what? It works and it lasts all day and it stains your lips.
Yeah, it works. It lasts all day and it stains your lips, but not without a problem. That's the clip from an influencer on TikTok, one of many that are being posted online recommending this makeup practice using the same permanent markers we all probably grew up getting yelled at for using on our skin as a kid. Now, experts say the chemicals in Sharpies like xylene and toluene aren't meant for your lips and definitely not for your bloodstream. One dermatologist calls this risky and concerning, and even Sharpie is saying these are meant for paper, not for your face. So if you've been tempted to try this, the advice is simply don't.
Yeah, I've seen this, and I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we got to this point where we're putting Sharpie on our lips.
Yeah.
But as you said, experts say, please don't do this. It contains so many chemicals. We don't know what it'll do to our bloodstream, our immune system, our bodies in general. It's just not a good idea. We have lip liner for a reason. We don't need to use a Sharpie.
I mean, even lip liner these days. Here I am trying to read ingredients and make sure they're clean and, you know, I have sensitive skin, so.
It's definitely cleaner than a Sharpie.
Definitely cleaner than a Sharpie.
Let's not do that, okay?
Although I will say, I always wonder, where did the idea come from? Did you see the marker and just say, let me try this? I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. But
never know what's trending.
I will not be trying that one.
All right. No cashier, no problem. Artificial intelligence is taking another step into our everyday lives, this time at the grocery store. Wegmans is now testing high-tech AI-powered shopping carts at select stores in upstate New York. They're called Caper Carts, developed by Instacart, and they're designed to make grocery shopping quicker and more convenient. Each cart features built-in cameras, sensors, and a digital scale, letting shoppers scan, bag, and pay as they go. So we're talking completely skipping the checkout line. They also keep a running total so you know exactly how much you're spending. Now, while Wegmans has stores in 9 states, these carts are not in Michigan just yet. The grocery chain says it's still in the testing phase and will decide whether or not to roll this out in other stores all across the country. And, you know, based on the feedback from customers, I think that's going to have a lot of impact here. I will say we've become pretty autonomous when it comes to shopping, especially post-COVID world. We check ourselves out. We scan our digital coupons. We do a lot of things ourselves. So now might as well, instead of buying, bagging, and checking out, just put them in the cart and walk out. Everything's done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at this because I already try to grocery shop in the easiest way possible.
Yeah.
I do the curbside pickup or whatnot, so I'm not mad at this. I feel like it'll make my job easier.
I think for some it works. For others, I'm so old school. I still have yet to do a grocery pickup. I've never used Instacart. Yeah. I'm so used to my Farmer Jack days. Rolling in that cart, and I like to pick my produce. And
I will say produce is a tricky one because obviously you like your produce how you like it. You know, you like it to be a certain level of freshness.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not really something you can communicate. But it's just so much easier, especially for me. It's just one less thing on the list for me to do.
You know, it could be easier. I do like saying our grocery store friends. You know, the checkout. I just like to, you know, especially community
do you
stores.
do self-checkout or do you?
I try to go to a clerk. I need some sort of interaction.
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually, when I do go to the grocery store, I stopped going to self-checkout and I started going to the lane. I just feel like it's easier. You know?
Yeah.
They're there.
Skipping the communication for ease.
I guess.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Ronnie.
Thanks, Bree.
Well, much more ahead in our next hour, including President Donald Trump making a huge announcement regarding Russia. Coming up, how the White House is applying pressure to reach an end to the war in Ukraine. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit's Live. You are looking live downtown Detroit, our beautiful city, 84 degrees, 1:40 in the afternoon. It is looking a little cloudy, a little hazy out there. We'll check in with Stephanie Mead, see what's really happening out there in a second.
I thought he was somebody that meant what he said, and he'll talk so beautifully and then he'll bomb people at night. We don't like that.
President Donald Trump fed up with Russian President Vladimir Putin's games after Russia launches another round of attacks on Ukraine overnight. Now, the president and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte announcing additional U.S. weapons are now available to Ukraine. But that's not all. President Trump is also threatening severe secondary tariffs if Putin does not reach a ceasefire deal in 50 days. That threat, a hefty consequence for major purchases of Russian oil like China and India.
We want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there.
The president has said he wants to see an end to this. He's given Vladimir Putin numerous occasions to negotiate a ceasefire to stop these barbaric attacks.
The president says Ukraine and NATO allies should begin receiving Patriot missile systems within days. Well, a warning for you. If you're searching for a job, a Central Florida woman is speaking out after falling victim to a growing work-from-home scam that nearly cost her $3,000. Tess Kernan received an email offering her what seemed like an easy gig with a large payout. She would receive packages she neither ordered nor paid for, opened them, expected them, and sent them back out. She says she was supposed to get $4,500 per month with bonuses per package. The job seemed to be real until she was promoted and had to start fronting money herself, but still hadn't been paid for her previous work.
This is what they send me on the dashboard. Okay, all this stuff, you have no idea. It's like how to receive a package and how to pick up a package and instructions. A lot of the jobs that are out there are scams. You just don't know who to trust.
Yeah, I can say the descriptions, the pictographs and infographics that she showed us, those didn't really look too legit, especially once I saw the emoji. The girl walking with the emoji didn't really seem too legit. Now, the Better Business Bureau says to be wary of job opportunities emailed to you out of the blue. Be skeptical of a job that asks you to share personal information or hand over money. Search the job online if it looks suspicious and check out the business's own website. Yes, great tips. Well, for years, 10,000 has been the gold standard for the amount of steps you should take in a day. But it turns out that may not be the case. Researchers say your age actually determines how many you should be taking. If you're younger than 60, 8 to 10,000 steps can help reduce your mortality rate. For those over 60 years old, 6,000 to 8,000 steps is the goal. And overall, studies found taking fewer than 2,300 steps a day increases your risk of cardiovascular events like stroke and heart disease. Now, aside from physical health, walking has been linked to boosting moods and creativity and reducing anxiety and depression. And I would definitely agree. I definitely try to get all my steps in for the day. I set my limit at 7,000 because I just wasn't hitting 10,000 and I was just tired of being disappointed every day.
I feel you.
So I was just like, I'm just going to hit 7,000 every day. And I've been hitting it ever since.
Great. That's why I got this.
Yeah.
I got my Apple Watch.
You were so excited to get your Apple Watch.
This was a good investment. I don't wear it all the time because I think it's like hard to remember sometimes to pop it on your wrist.
Yeah.
But we have dogs at home, so I think that also helps us too get steps in a little bit more.
For sure.
And I do think weather plays a role in that too, because if it's too hot, you don't obviously want to bring your dog out with you.
This is true.
And I think it deters you from wanting to be out there anyway. But today I think is a great day. Just because it is warm, but our humidity levels aren't as bad. Our temperatures have mainly been in the 80s, and I think moving forward, there will be a few possibly pushing 90, but as a whole, not that bad. So temperatures across the region, mainly in the 80s. We have that air quality alert in play too for a lot of locations as well. This is our air quality map, and I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that slight haze in the air too. That is the smoke in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Some of it is starting, though, to get a little bit closer to the surface, so you might notice a bit more of that smell outside. It's not going to harm you in any capacity. I think if you have those illnesses that are sensitive to smoke, so respiratory issues, if you have asthma, you might be noticing it a little bit more from time to time today. But we do see improvements too as we head through tomorrow and Thursday with that whole smoke situation. Here's a live look over our Southfield camera, and you can see that light milkiness to the sky. That's that smoke that we're dealing with, but also some ozone as well. As we head through the night and into tomorrow, we should see subtle improvements there, and there might be a slight little hiccup here as we head through the end of the week in terms of those smoky conditions. But again, in the grand scheme of things, it's really only impacting folks that have those respiratory issues. Temperatures right now, though, mainly in the mid-80s, 84 in the city, a very seasonal afternoon for us here, 86 in Muskegon, out near Green Bay and Milwaukee, so Wisconsin even in the lower to middle 80s. So it feels really nice here across the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. Now, the further south you go, that's where we start to see those dew point readings increase little by little. So when you see those numbers bypass that 70-degree mark, that's when we're going to start to feel a little bit more like that Florida feel, so very tropical, upper 60s to near 70 in Chicago, 67 dew point reading in Green Bay, so it is a little bit more muggy further west and southwest of us here. Lower 60s for us here, so once we kind of break that 60-degree threshold again, it's when you start to feel that slight stickiness to the air. It's nothing oppressive here locally, but it is around. 84 is what it feels like in Grand Rapids, only feels like it's about 85, so it's really not impacting us too much in terms of heat indices today. Now, showers are just north of us in Canada. I do think we stay clear for the rest of the day today in terms of those rain chances. Now, it's a different story heading through the day tomorrow. We have that storm risk once again. We have a slight risk a little further west of us, and it looks like they've adjusted this map a little bit. So we have a newly updated Storm Prediction Center map. So it includes a good chunk of northeast Wisconsin extending into Illinois. And then for the rest of the state of Michigan, we have a marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5. So it's not super pressing, but we could see maybe an isolated stronger to severe thunderstorm tomorrow. So here's our Fox Futurecast model drive for the rest of the day today. And then by around the afternoon hours come Wednesday, this is time stamping this at 2:30. We'll see these spotty showers begin to develop. Now, nothing necessarily severe. That severe window looks to be between 4 and 7 o'clock. So when we've seen kind of that peak daytime heating, this is at 6:30. So when a lot of us are sitting down for dinner, we'll see those pop-up shower and thunder showers, maybe an isolated stronger to severe one out of that. And then by Wednesday evening, we should begin to quiet down. Most of the storms are going to jet to the north, so up near northern Michigan. Highs today could approach the 90-degree mark. I think this is looking a bit more few and far between at this point. A lot of us most likely in the upper 80s, and we'll hit that between dinner time and around 8 o'clock, so later on today. Low 70s tonight. Increasing humidity levels for sure, so I do think we'll feel a bit more uncomfortable tomorrow and Thursday. And of course, we'll be factoring in those rain chances too both days. Daytime highs will be in the middle 80s Wednesday and Thursday as well. And after that, our precip chances will fall off, especially Friday. And then this upcoming weekend, we see additional rain chances too, but it's going to be kind of like this past weekend where we do see dry time mixing in with some shower chances too. So it's not going to be a complete washout, but our humidity levels are going to remain up there too. So they drop off Friday once again, then slowly inch upwards Saturday and Sunday. Now, there doesn't seem to be much relief in terms of the heat, and it's not even necessarily super hot out there, but we've been stringing together several days of 80s and above, and it looks like a lot of the country is going to continue to see very warm conditions take us through the next week or two potentially. The extended forecast as a whole doesn't look too bad either. Few rain chances here and there, but luckily we're not stringing together several days in the 90s. We have a lot more 80s factored in there, a few storm chances here and there as well. Probably the best day out of the next 8 is going to be Friday because our daytime highs will be in the upper 70s. So there is a little bit of relief, I guess, from the warmth, but then we head right back to near seasonal Saturday, Sunday, Monday of next week. So honestly, not that bad. You can still have those pool days here and there. You can still go out on the lake, but maybe have that Fox 2 weather app so you're able to track out those storms.
Yes, the Fox 2 weather app. Especially during these trying times, we don't know what's happening. It's immediate update, really.
It is, yeah, and it gives you alerts based off of your location. So you're going to get those severe thunderstorm warnings based off of where you're at, instead of just for, some arbitrary spot down in, southern Monroe County if you don't live there, Yeah. So it's always a great tool to have.
Yes. Thank you, Steph.
Yeah.
Well, she was last year's Miss North America 2024, and now she's ready to expand her brand and help those in need. A peek into the life of a philanthropic pageant queen up next. Welcome back. Well, when we think of pageant queens, most would probably think fancy gowns and tiaras. And while that's part of it, another huge part is what makes each queen so unique. Miss North America 2024 has passed the baton, or she's going to pass the baton, but she's not done making a difference. Kyla Wright joins us live in studio to tell us all about this. Kyla, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So tell us about your journey. How long have you been into pageants and whatnot?
My first pageant, I was in the 8th grade, so about 12, 13 years old. And from there, I did some pageants in college, went on to compete again as an adult. And after 7 tries, I finally won the big crown, and I'm here as Miss North America for another week.
Wow, 7 tries?
Yes.
7 tries to get to Miss North America. That is incredible. It's definitely a story of perseverance and determination for sure.
Yes,
After each loss during those 7 times, I mean, how did you feel? How did you pick yourself back up to go again?
So I consider the loss or the L a lesson. So every time I take something from it, whether it be meeting new friends, talking to people, or just learning what I could say a little different in my interview, or what I could teach the next girl, the next pageant girl, the next queen, or even switching up my look and feeling more authentic to who I am, which is why 3 years ago I decided to start competing in my natural curls, which I'm wearing today, because it's the truest and rawest and most authentic version of really who I am when I step on that stage and when I'm off the stage.
Yes, I love that so much. And it's already so much pressure to, get on that stage and perform. But when you're pretending to be someone you're not, or you're stepping into this light that's just not authentic to you, that can definitely make that a little bit harder. So I love the fact that you tapped into that.
Yes, thank you.
So what is it like being a pageant queen? I mean, is it the glitz and the glams that we think that it is? To give us an inside scoop.
It's the glitz and the glam, but it's so much more. It's about mentorship. It's about who you are. It's about your platform or your community service initiative. It's about your community. It's about traveling and not looking back, but it's also about reaching back and pulling other people up with you, because you don't want to be a stereotypical pageant queen, and most of us are not. A lot of us are very community oriented. We're very grassroots. I always have looked back and poured into my community in Detroit, where I was born and raised, as being Miss Michigan North America to being Miss North America, traveling across the country, the continent, and even in different parts of the world. I always make sure I really, really, really stay true to that foundation that was poured into me.
I really love the fact that you brought up community, and you are continuing that trend with your nonprofit that you are launching any day here now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my nonprofit organization is entitled Operation SASH. SASH is an acronym for Sexual Assault Stops Here, and it's also a call to action to stop secrecy, demand accountability, and create spaces for support and healing for survivors of sexual assault. And this started as my community service initiative as a pageant queen, something that you have to have, where you talk about it in your interview with the judges, and you talk about why you're passionate about it, and you actually interact with that thing in your community. And I decided to take it a step further, because I don't plan on doing pageants for the rest of my life. So how better to leave an impact and a legacy but to create my own nonprofit here in Michigan, and hopefully to eventually expand across the country, maybe even the continent.
How do you think sexual assaults, how do you think that has impacted the world of pageants and whatnot? Do you have a friend or maybe someone that you work closely with that's experienced something like that?
Yes, I do, absolutely. Besides myself, because I myself am a survivor of sexual assault, which is what inspired me to stop the secrecy and actually speak up about this issue. But a lot of friends, and actually I was victimized as a college student and looked up the statistics that 1 in 5 women are actually victimized during their average college tenure. And that was about 10 years ago when I initially found out that statistic. And the numbers have gotten larger, which is so unfortunate, which is why I have such a reason behind continuing this organization to make sure that people have support and that people are aware of what's going on and why we need to talk about it and stop making it a taboo issue. But it's something that we need to reach out and help others in our community because people are being affected by it.
Yes, that is so bold, so brave, and I love that.
Thank you.
Real quick, tell our viewers at home where they can connect with you, learn more about you.
Yes, for sure. So about a week from now, I will no longer be Miss North America 2024, but I always will be in all of our hearts. So you can follow me on my personal contacts at Kyla Wright Media, my first last name, Media, on Instagram, Facebook, X, all of the things. And you can keep up with me, my nonprofit, and everything else I'll be doing in the future. So definitely stay tuned.
Kyla, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. All right, well, that's going to do it for me this hour. Stick around. We're here until 5 o'clock today. I'll see you back here at 3.
Ready? Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday, July 15th. I'm your host, Jamie Sherrod, and you're watching Fox 2 Detroit Live at 2.
Live from the Fox 2 Newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
Well, Royal Oak is moving forward with plans to fix its troubled parking system. As Fox 2's Robin Murdoch explains, the City Council just approved a new agreement that could bring an end to the camera-based system now in place.
I think it's unnecessary because we're just getting used to this one.
You'd be surprised the amount of times that people knock on our door that ask us, hey, how do these even work?
The opinions about the parking in Royal Oak about as plentiful as the meters that dot the downtown streets here, but soon these will be in the rear view. It's out with the old and in with the new system, that is.
It's 4 years later. They're reacting to it, so hopefully it can only get better.
The Royal Oak City Commission on Monday night overwhelmingly approved getting rid of the current camera-based method and instead using a combination of the Flowbird meter system and the Park mobile app. That might sound familiar because it is the same setup as in Detroit.
It seemed like revamp would be a lot of construction. It would take away from
the eats and the arts of the area.
Repeated ticket errors, technology that doesn't work consistently, and backing into these spots onto Washington. The cause of many of the complaints since the municipal parking system was first installed in 2021. This open house in May let locals test out some of the alternatives and led to the latest picks.
I back into parking spots regularly, but I have a teenage son. He would just keep driving around the block because it's a lot more effort, a lot more work.
The end game to have a simpler, more user-friendly parking process for everyone that will bring business to Royal Oak rather than deter it, driving those essential dollars elsewhere. Change here is blooming.
People should not be worried about where they're going to park or how much they're going to pay for parking if they're coming to the city to spend money.
We are told that these new meters should be installed sometime in the fall, with this new system up and running by 2026. Reporting in Royal Oak, I'm Robin Murdoch, Fox 2 News.
Detroit police are on the hunt for 3 men wanted in connection to a deadly shooting on the city's east side. This here is a picture of the victim, Michael Davis. He was killed last Tuesday in the area of East Outer Drive in Van Dyke. Police say 3 men wearing all black approached Davis, opened fire, and took off in a dark gray Chevy SUV with dark rims. Of course, if you know anything, be sure to call Detroit police or Crime Stoppers. There is a $5,000 reward for anything that moves this case forward. Melvindale police investigating after a body was discovered at a local park. Officers responding to McGinty Park off of Robert Street. The body was found near a shed. Right now, it's unclear who the victim is or the circumstances around their death. Be sure to stick with Fox 2 for updates. A Detroit teenager is being held behind bars without bond after he allegedly crashed into a Madison Heights man and killed him over the weekend. Roseville police say they tried to stop the 16-year-old suspect near 94 in Gratiot because he was behind the wheel of a stolen car. That kicked off a chase on westbound 696 before officers say the suspect blew a red light at 11 Mile in Van Dyke and barreled into Alex Habibi, who was out Ubering around 3 Saturday morning. The 28-year-old father of 2 died, leaving his family and co-workers heartbroken.
I mean, they're obviously devastated. It's a senseless accident. I mean, just my own personal opinion, I just don't know why these high-speed chases continue to happen and people are senselessly taken from their families over a car, a piece of metal.
A GoFundMe for his family has now raised more than $80,000. If you'd like to donate, there is a link on our website at fox2detroit.com. Balloons soar high into the sky in honor of an Eastpointe McDonald's manager who was brutally murdered on the job. Friends, family, and customers came together last night to honor the life of 39-year-old Jennifer Harris. She spent 15 years working for McDonald's. As a single mom, she devoted her time towards supporting her children and helping others along the way. It all came to a horrific halt when police say her co-worker, Afeni Muhammad, stabbed her to death last Thursday.
It means so much to see everyone here today. Family, friends, crew, customers, because it shows just how many lives Jennifer touched, both in this restaurant and in our community.
She was just a real loving person. Like, she really cared about her family. She only talked about her family and everything, all positive stuff. And she just loved her coworkers. Like, she really loved her coworkers. She was outgoing to the customer. She was taking care of the customer. She was being respectful.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to raise money for Harris's children. We do have a link for that on our website at fox2detroit.com. The Michigan State University surplus store is asking customers to be very careful if they bought any pens last week. That's because they could contain a sharp surprise. If you pull them apart, a knife blade is inside. The pens were in a box marked free during the July 8th teacher sale. If you have one of the knife pens, you are asked to contact the store. Michigan's newest country music festival is over before it even began. The organizers of the Country Roads Music Festival have postponed the concert until next year. It was supposed to begin on Friday at the Groves of Michigan in Brooklyn. The concert promoter released a statement saying, "Our goal has always been to create something meaningful for this community, and we want to give it the time and care it deserves." They say all tickets will be fully refunded. Well, after being closed during the pandemic for the first time in years, a couple of corridors in downtown Northville are back open. It comes after a ruling by a judge. Fox 2's Josh Landon explains.
Indeed, it's been quite the talker here in downtown Northville. We're talking about Main and Center Streets in the downtown area. And you can see right behind me, the barriers, the roadblocks have been brought down. The decision by the city to close Main and Center Streets during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic was to allow for more social distancing for outdoor dining. The group Let's Open Northville, a collaboration of business and property owners in the area, argued in a lawsuit that the closures contradict not only the city's charter but state law as well. Wayne County Circuit Judge Charlene Elder sided last week with the plaintiffs and ordered the city to bring down the roadblocks on Main and Center Streets in downtown by midnight today. Let's Open Northville's lawsuit followed by City Council's decision in 2022 to permanently close the two streets despite the recommendation of Northville's Downtown Development Authority to permanently reopen Center Street and keep Main Street closed for seasonal purposes. Now, we spoke with a few residents who live here in Northville. They are giving mixed reaction on the decision. We also spoke with Kate Knight, Executive Director of the Downtown Development Authority. Here's what they all had to say.
We've been living in Northville now for 10 years. We had our daughters 4 years ago, and we really enjoy the safety of the streets being closed to traffic and just business being thriving and restaurants that we can visit.
We're responding to a court order. It's been a long time in the making here, but we had a short window to really open the streets and activate for traffic, vehicular access. And so we've done that. As of last night, the streets are open, very calm, a great execution of dropping these bollards. And they provide a lot of flexibility. So in the future, we'll be able to create space, public space for public events, for special events, including a lot of our concert series, which we've been running for years downtown.
Once again, you have a lot of mixed reaction on this decision, but nevertheless, Center and Main Streets, a key location in downtown Northville, is back open. Along with the businesses, people can come out and enjoy. In Northville, Josh Landon, Fox 2 News.
Thank you, Josh. Well, Fox 2 Detroit Live at 2 is just getting started. The air out there right now, yeah, it's not too great. We'll tell you what's causing all the smoke and how long we're expected to be in dangerous territory right after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 2. You are taking a live look out at the city right now. 2:11 is your time. And look at those temps. 84 degrees out there. You can see the haze in the background as well. We'll get into more of that right now. We can actually expect another smoky day in Metro Detroit. An air quality alert is in effect for Southeast Michigan today, and the smoke is forecasted to linger throughout the day with improvement by late evening. Now, sensitive groups might want to stay inside or wear a mask if you're outside. This includes people with respiratory problems, children, and the elderly. Now, with summer being in full swing, so is the heat. One health expert is sharing why the rising temperatures might make you feel more uncomfortable. Dr. Susan Alberts, a psychologist with Cleveland Clinic, says our bodies go into overdrive to keep us cool, and that can cause stress. She says it can drain your energy and impact how you think through issues. Dr. Alberts goes on to say heat can also take a toll on your sleep, and the less sleep you get, the more impatient or irritable you might become. She says it's important to drink lots of water to avoid becoming dehydrated because that could also impact your mood as well. Stephanie Mead joining us now. I agree with this study, and I'll tell you why. I just got back from Arizona.
Okay.
The Uber drivers there, the least friendliest Uber drivers I've ever met. But then I thought about it, like, it's very hot here. Like, I probably would be a little irritated too. But yeah, like every Uber driver, I'm like, where are the friendly Uber drivers? So I think they're being affected by the heat there, causing them a little stress.
Yeah, I think I run into this issue too, just personally. Over the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
We were up north and we were outside. And granted, we were with a dog as well. But like after a certain point, you're just like, I need to get out.
You're over it. Like, I'm done.
Just get us into air conditioning, please.
Yes. Also, I will not be complaining about when we're in the 80s or 90s anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's nothing. You will not hear any complaints from me.
For sure. Like the triple digit heat.
It's totally different.
It is a totally different beast, whether you have humidity or not. You're still out there. You're sizzling.
I am happy to be home. I'm not complaining anymore.
You're like, I need a sweatshirt for this 80-degree weather.
Great.
Yeah. Well, luckily we have more of that as we get through the next couple of days. More 80s, and it's a very seasonal stretch for us here. You do have an air quality alert, as you guys mentioned before, for those sensitive groups. I'm sure you're noticing it just a little bit more. So just kind of keep that in mind. We do see a little bit more of a better, at least, atmosphere environment over the next 2 days because of the rain. So we won't be worrying about air quality as we head through Wednesday or Thursday. Now, our current numbers in terms of temperatures are very seasonal. We're in the mid 80s, 84 in Detroit, 85 in Pontiac, mid 80s in Mount Clemens. So 84, 85, popular number right now here across Southeast Michigan. Lots of sunshine associated with that, so rain is not going to be an issue for us here. And it's not oppressively humid by any means, but we do have a little bit of the humidity around. We have low 60s in terms of dew points. We have upper 50s closer to central Michigan. So when you kind of get those numbers inching closer to 70 degrees, it's when it starts to feel very uncomfortable and almost oppressive. Now, it is a little humid outside, but it is very much manageable right now. Showers are staying north of us. I think over the next couple of hours, we stay dry, so rain is not going to be an issue for us here. Tomorrow, though, is that game changer day where we do have that risk for picking up on an isolated stronger to severe thunderstorm. So a low level severe weather risk here. Bullseye of the severe weather is going to be out near northern Illinois and Wisconsin, where they have that yellow, which is a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5. So here's our Fox Futurecast model. The rest of today, I don't think we're going to run into any issues. We're going to start this at 5 o'clock. We'll see that chance of showers and storms begin to bubble up by the middle part of the afternoon. So when we see that peak daytime heating, that's when we start to see a lot of that activity come to fruition. And then by around 7, 8 o'clock, maybe an isolated stronger to severe thunderstorm will diminish that risk once we lose that daytime heating. And then by around midnight tonight, most of the storms are going to be up near north and central Michigan. So just missing southeast Michigan, and that's going to continue to track eastbound. So once we lose that daytime heating again, that's when we begin to quiet down. 90 today, I think that might be a bit more few and far between in terms of people hitting that for the daytime high. I think a lot of us are making headway towards the upper 80s. We'll hit that between 5 and 7 o'clock tonight. And then those tonight, I think bottom out in the lower 70s with increasing humidity levels later on tonight. And I think you're going to notice humidity around more Wednesday and Thursday than today. Few storms tomorrow and Thursday as well, with our highs in the middle 80s both days. Now, precip chances after Wednesday and Thursday look to diminish. So Friday is actually going to be a pretty good day. It's also going to be a little bit cooler too, slightly below seasonal. And then this upcoming weekend will increase our rain chances once again. Now with that too, we are increasing our humidity levels as well. We see it drop off by the end of the week, so Friday, and then they'll slowly inch upwards in terms of those readings Saturday and Sunday. Now, in terms of our warmth, we've been kind of steady in the 80s over the past several days and actually over the past several weeks. I think the really only relief we see is Friday, and that's one day. And then you notice much of the country looks to remain above seasonal. We see this hot weather kind of take over central parts of the country. The Ohio Valley could get us as we head through the end of next week, so we'll see if that comes true. But for right now, we have a lot of 80s here. Very seasonal stretch by the end of the weekend and into early next week, with rain chances diminishing too, just in time for the work week to start. But not a bad forecast by any means for us here. And these rain chances that we are seeing both Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday, Sunday, they're not going to be all day rain. So you can still be out and about and enjoying the pool, the lake, whether you want to be out and about, you know, just kind of enjoying activities across Southeast Michigan. You should be fine.
Not a bad forecast at all. I have no complaints. None whatsoever.
Good. Yeah, it's really honestly not that bad. And actually Thursday night into early Friday should feel really, really nice too. We'll be in the upper 50s, low 60s, that even heading into late Friday night. So if you want to be out and about, it's going to be really, really nice Friday. Make those dinner plans, guys.
Yes. Listen to Steph, people. All right. Thanks, Steph.
Yeah.
Volunteers continue to deliver hope to the hurting community of Kerrville, Texas. As recovery crews resume the search for those still missing in the South Central Texas floods, volunteers are coming from all over the country to help rebuild the community. And their resulting efforts are even more visible than they are through the massive piles of debris picked up and even buildings being put back together.
Fathers went through many more natural disasters and man-made disasters than this. And they didn't have bobcats. They didn't have pickup trucks. They didn't have people coming by giving you meals throughout the day and water. And they didn't have volunteers that came by the dozens to help with power tools and bringing generators. And so, you know, who am I to complain at this point in time?
Some incredible and impactful work that they're doing there. The July 4th floods killed at least 132 people. Texas state officials say 101 are still missing, down from a previous unaccounted total of 160. Coming up, healing and transformation through the power of meditation. We'll have more on how it can improve both your professional and personal life right after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 2. Your time right now is 2:22, still 84 degrees out there. Don't forget the haze, that smoke that's in the air. If you have any respiratory issues or are elderly, you may want to stay inside for that. Well, transforming your life through the healing and calming power of meditation. Joining me now is author and host of the Goddess Power Show, Elizabeth Ann Atkins. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jamie.
Of course. And happy belated birthday to you. We share the same birthday. We're birthday twins.
Yes, I love that.
So I had to plug that shout out there. But let's get to the topic of today. The power of meditation. Some people may think of it as just closing your eyes and sitting still, but break down what it actually means to meditate and what happens when you do it.
So, Jamie, there are actual techniques that you can use that are very simple. Years ago, when I wanted to learn to meditate, all the lessons I tried to follow were so over my head. So my mission is to simplify it and teach how to do it. And basically you just sit and you get quiet and you can repeat a tone like Om, O-M, or you can follow my guided meditations, which allow you to just sit back and follow my voice, which people say is very calming and soothing, and that I guide you through it all. I highly recommend you have a guide, because if you just sit down, your head is going to be like 10 TV stations blaring all kinds of noise.
Now, when you're doing those alms, or even if they're listening to your calming voice, what does that do exactly?
So what it does is help you focus and calm the mind. My meditation teacher, Dr. Rama, who's from India, he told me that our mind is like 1,000 wild horses running in different directions, and meditation calms the horses and helps them all get into this harmonious flow together.
So is it quitting the chaos in your head altogether and just quieting all those thoughts pretty much?
So our minds are always working. It's impossible to quiet the mind entirely. What meditation does is helps you attune to your inner voice, your intuition, which I believe is the voice of spirit or whatever your beliefs are. It could be your higher self, but it helps you hear yourself and your truth. And once you attune to that intuition, it guides you 24/7. And it's magic.
Yeah. So I know you said you're a teacher from India who taught you all these tips. How did you get into meditation yourself?
I always wanted to do it, and then I was just guided. I met this wonderful man, Dr. Rama, and then another teacher, Lori Lipton, who's local. She taught me more techniques. And then I started applying them daily. It takes work. It's called a practice. I started applying them, and then I became certified through Sacred Balance Academy in Bloomfield Hills. And then I started leading meditations for people and women especially.
How would you say it's transformed your life?
Oh my goodness, it's immeasurable. First of all, I wake up every morning in peace. I stay through my day non-reactive to traffic, to time, to things. I stay in my center. I am in my creative genius zone as a writer, a publisher, a podcaster, a retreat leader. I stay focused on who I am, and I listen to that guidance, which is very loud, because I attune to it daily through these practices. So it's allowed me to release fears, anxieties, get creative ideas for books and things that I do in my life every day, and it's magic.
That's amazing, the impact it can have, because some people may think it's just for relaxing, but I mean, you listed so many benefits of doing this. I do know every Wednesday you host a Goddess Power meditation on Zoom for women across the country. Tell us about that and what people can expect.
Well, Jamie, it is free. It's on Zoom from the comfort of your home, and it's a wonderful, safe place for you to come to learn how to clear your energy, how to meditate, and I guide you through the whole thing from the comfort of your device. And the women get so relaxed. It's this beautiful, sacred sisterhood of people who really want to learn and improve, and they get this guidance during the meditations that is just, it's mind-blowing, actually. So it's every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern PM on Zoom, and I'm so excited to welcome viewers, welcome you to come join, learn. Meditation is something people always are curious about, talk about, but don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Start with me.
Love that. And later this year in the fall, you are hosting a goddess retreat.
Yes.
Give us a little tease to what people can expect with that.
So it's going to be based on my book, The Biz Tribe, where you activate your goddess power. And it's all about immersing into a sacred, safe space in a gorgeous gorgeous vineyard in Southern Oregon, where I'm going to lead 10 to 12 women on meditations, energy clearing, journaling prompts, and all these exercises that I created to help myself. And now I'm teaching because I am the walking, talking proof that I just had another birthday, as you said, and I've never felt better in my life.
I love that for you.
Thank you. So I want to share that with other women. And the retreat, you can learn more about it at thegoddesspowershow.com. You can come, immerse, and transform in ways that will blow your mind.
All right. Be sure to check that out. The calming and healing power of meditation, and especially that retreat. You don't want to miss it. Elizabeth, it's so great seeing you as always. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jamie.
Of course. That's all for us here on Fox 2 Detroit Live at 2. We'll see you back here around 3. But in the meantime, have a great day.
Towers in the morning, 100.3 WNIC.
I can't stop touching this tie today because it's a fuzzy tie. It looks like it has a bunch of pulls in it.
Oh, it does.
But it does not. It's a Todd Snyder, and this was a birthday gift last year from my friend Ryan from Salt & Co.
Oh, Todd Snyder. Why do I know that name?
Well, you know Zack Snyder, the director.
Oh, that's
Todd
it.
Snyder
You're
is
right.
somebody else.
It does look like it needs one of those little...
Like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So many ties. So many ties.
How many do you think roughly you have?
300. Wow. 300 ties.
So you could almost the whole year wear a different tie every day.
Right.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah. But you know what? You have to be careful. You got blues in it. You shouldn't wear that with the black. It's like a whole thing.
Oh, look at you knowing.
Well, I have to know it's a minor.
I know, but
thing.
that tie's blue and your suit's black.
This is purple, isn't it?
No.
This isn't purple?
No, that's navy blue. That's
Get
That
out.
is blue.
Oh, my
You're welcome.
God.
You thought that was purple?
I mean, I'm colorblind. You know I don't see colors well.
It's okay, though. I mean, it looks fine. It looks fine. It looks nice, but it is funny that you said that
Well,
that
you
was
can't
your
wear
rule.
black and blue.
Well, you're doing it, and you're pulling it off.
All right. Well, it's time for cross-exam.
Okay.
Allison, how's it work?
We're going to ask each other 3 questions. They can be silly. They can be serious. Always fun. Play along in the car, with your coworkers, with your family at dinner. Just do it.
All right. Here we go. 3 questions. Your only possible answer, Jay, Allison, or Chelsea. Question number 1. Who would be most likely to take something petty, really personally, like not being invited into a group text and then hold a silent grudge for years?
Oh, I wonder who that would be.
Listen,
That's just not even...
10 questions here. I'm trying to find 3 that I don't know. Question number 2. If one of us were running a secret side hustle that was highly questionable, who would it be and what would they be selling? That's a tough one.
That is tough.
That's a make you think. That's a take a break and be right back. And finally, I don't know if this pertains to any of us, but number 3, who's most likely to snap during a staff Zoom or Teams meeting and say exactly what everyone else is thinking, but shouldn't say out loud?
Wow. That is hard.
These are thought-provoking.
We're pretty good at trying to keep our jobs.
Right. Right. So let's go with the easy one first. Who would be most likely to take something petty really personally, like not being invited into a group text, and hold a silent grudge for years? Well, I know. It took me about an eighth of a second to come up with Allison Martinick.
Same. That is so me, and I currently am holding several of those grudges.
Oh, I'm sure you are for years.
Yeah, and I wouldn't call any of my issues petty.
No?
No.
My favorite
they
is
probably
when
are, but I don't.
Me and Jay say something about an email that was sent to our work email, and she goes, "Oh, must not have gotten that one." It's like, well, nope. See your name right on the list right here. Oh, I haven't checked that work email. Okay. Well, it's a good thing you didn't get all worked up over it.
Now I'm...
The internet is down in the beautiful town of Ypsilanti. Question number 2. If one of us were running a secret side hustle that was highly questionable, who would it be and what would they be selling? I don't know how to answer this. I mean, a secret side hustle? Again, I only know process of elimination would be Allison, although she wouldn't make it a secret.
No, I would be open about it.
She's been known to sell most of her boyfriend's things off, furniture, all that. So I could see you having a secret thrift store, perhaps, that we don't know about, that you're secretly picking up and selling things.
I've threatened to do the weird foot stuff on OnlyFans.
I know.
I haven't yet. She's got an ongoing garage sale.
That was supposed to be one Saturday in June.
Lift up my garage door. We're ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said Allison.
I said me too.
Yeah, and
at any given time, I might
unless anybody came
pull
up with
something out of the
better.
dumpster and sell it.
I actually said Jay.
Oh.
And
what would my secret side hustle be?
See, I don't it wouldn't be anything that you are not allowed to be doing, but I could see you selling black market Superman stuff that.
Oh, no.
Well, that's against the law.
All right. Well, then, yeah, I could see you doing that.
I could be offering, I don't know, agenting services.
Or that. Oh, yes. I was also thinking
stars
of
that have been in Superman movies.
I don't know if it's a side hustle if you don't get paid, though.
That's the thing.
I don't think
That's
it is.
why I rarely get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever pulls me aside and says, is this his third job? Because technically, contractually, you can't, because my answer is always, take a look at the books.
Yeah.
I get no money for it.
You actually lose money.
It costs me money for my side hustle.
You're the best agent ever.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And last one, who's most likely to snap during a staff Zoom or Teams meeting and say exactly what everyone else is thinking, but shouldn't say out loud? I went with Allison on that one today, too.
I mean, that can happen.
Actually, we hope it's you.
Really?
Well, I've done it before, not here. And also, I am currently trying to bargain. I want to go to Warren's job and really light some people up.
Yeah.
To the point where I told him yesterday, I go, I might not need your permission. I might just go do it.
Yeah.
And then I said, can I have the names of your supervisors, please? Because otherwise I'm going to be walking around the building aimlessly.
It's funny that we work in a business where you do have, many of us have a talent agent that handles your affairs with upper
you don't
management.
have
So
to,
you don't.
yeah.
Right. And it's why can't it be like that in regular life too?
I know.
You should absolutely be in charge of Warren's affairs.
I am, and I just put myself in charge. Right. And I'm about to go to his job and make a lot of noise.
On his behalf.
On his behalf.
Why not?
Yeah.
Did you have a different answer, Chelsea?
I said myself.
Good.
It would take a lot to get me to that point, but there have definitely been all staff meetings that we've been a part of where I'm I'm about this close to lose my mind on someone.
There's one today. Will you do it?
I'm hoping not.
Chelsea is
that'd be
going
awesome.
to be handling the WNIC portion of the meeting today. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I miss everything.
You miss everything. All right, there you go. There's Cross-Exam on 100.3. right, so what happened today, back in the day? In 1968, the soap opera One Life to Live debuts on ABC. I feel like my mom watched that one. I feel like she watched All My Children and One Life to Live.
And then General Hospital.
I don't think she watched General Hospital.
But that was the trio.
Yeah.
And that's what my mom watched. So I started off on Channel 7 soaps, ABC.
Right.
And then in high school, moved on to Channel 4, Days of Our Lives, Another World.
Mm-hmm.
And then in college, did Bold and the Beautiful and Young and the Restless.
The Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
Funny, I remember when I was homesick from school, my mom, it was like, well, these are the shows that I watch, and you just happen to be here on my time, so you are going to be watching All My Children and One Life to Live with me. She did not watch General Hospital. I got into that later on.
Wasn't there one that was a woman like a witch? And didn't she have?
Yeah, she was. That was.
Beaches, or was it something? Or
I thought you meant in one of the soaps we just mentioned.
No,
there was a woman that was a witch in one of those.
Yeah, all right. 37 years ago, in 1988, the very first Die Hard movie hit theaters.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Yes.
It doesn't come up often
because
I don't seek it out, but whatever comes up in my news feed, I'll get updated on what. So I must follow Demi Moore.
Okay.
Or I guess you don't have to follow anyone anymore. Things just come up in your news feed. But anyway, you get Bruce Willis videos from the girls and her. And he's still hanging in there, but he doesn't, like dementia or Alzheimer's, whichever one it was, fully.
That Die Hard, the Nakatomi building. That's where the building.
Yeah.
He's in the building, or he's at the top, and it's being hijacked and all that stuff. And so that's in L.A. And that is now the Fox building.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I tried to let people know that on the junket bus, and everybody seemed to know that already.
Oh,
so that was my
junket people
interaction. 27 years ago, in 1998, There's Something About Mary was released. That was a funny movie for sure.
Stuck. You got what stuck? It. Oh! It, listen, it's not the end of the world. These kind of things happen.
It's the
so
worst,
inappropriate.
Horrible scene
so
ever.
So inappropriate.
20 years ago, another one of the greatest films ever, Wedding Crashers, was in theaters.
I apologize to you if I don't seem real eager to jump into a forced, awkward, intimate situation that people like to call dating. I don't like the feeling. You're sitting there, you're wondering, do I have food on my face? Am I eating? Am I talking too much? Are they talking enough? Am I interested? I'm not really interested. Should I play like I'm interested, but I'm not that interested? But I think she might be interested, but do I want to be interested? But now she's not interested. So now all of a sudden I'm starting to get interested.
Oh my God, it's so funny. And that's the scene with Dwight Yoakam and Rebecca De Monet.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that movie was ad-libbed.
I don't know. You would know if you could see the outtakes, I guess. It's such a funny scene. Also, 9 years ago in 2016, we got to see Stranger Things for the first time. There you go. There is your Back in the Day on WNIC. Dearborn, Detroit. It's time now for Hollywood Minute with Chelsea. It is brought to you this time around by our pal David Femininio. Get David, get paid.
Justin Timberlake caught on video at the Lytham Festival in England earlier this month, getting into it with the audio guys after having sound problems during the show. He was having problems during his song Cry Me a River, and I watched the video and you could see things were like heated for a moment. But you have to also imagine, as a musician, if there's a bunch of sound issues, you're going to get frustrated at some point.
Of course you are, yeah.
I mean, you're supposed to test that stuff beforehand so it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah. Last week, a car that was being used by Beyonce's choreographer and one of her dancers was broken into while getting ready for the Cowboy Carter tour in Atlanta. The thief stole USB drives with Beyonce's unreleased music, video footage from her concerts, and past and future set lists. Detectives are trying to find the person responsible for this robbery.
Just camp out on eBay.
Yeah, right.
You'll find
it.
You got to know, though, that any song of hers that was on that USB that's now released, they're going to find that IP address.
I know.
Sure.
After abandoning their farewell tour in 2023 due to Steven Tyler's vocal cord injury, guitarist Joe Perry says that Aerosmith is talking about a proper career send-off. He said, we're talking about it. I mean, except for like anything on the calendar, we're all alive and well. So we'll just kind of have to see. I know that there's at least got to be another Aerosmith gig. And,
Yeah.
said putting that set list together is going to be a tough one for him.
John Bon Jovi had something similar happen. I don't know if it was exactly the same vocal cord issue, but it was enough to sideline him.
He was out for a while, yeah.
But he went through like training and therapy and yeah.
Justin Bieber and Scooter Braun have settled their financial disputes. Justin going to be paying Scooter $26 million as part of an advance that was owed for his canceled 2022 Justice Tour. And then he's also agreed to pay $5.5 million for unpaid commissions owed to Scooter, totaling $31.5 million.
Wow.
God, that guy Scooter Braun seems like he's attached to so many
Yes, he is.
lawsuits.
And finally, Blake Lively won a legal battle allowing her to choose the location for her deposition in the case against Justin. The deposition is going to be taking place at her lawyer's office instead of a public venue like Madison Square Garden, which is what Justin's lawyer had proposed for live streaming, as well as any money that was made off the live stream would go towards some sort of charity. Blake cited concerns over paparazzi harassment if the venue were controlled by Justin's team.
Why don't you just focus on not irritating everyone and be good at your movies and making us try to like you? I would be so embarrassed to be 3 years, 4 years into this, and that's the only time my name comes up.
TV tonight, Bachelor in Paradise and the MLB.
Welcome to Tuesday. We're joined by Fox 2 meteorologist Alan Longstreet. Alan, hello to you.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
It's good seeing you. We were discussing this earlier, and we thought because you with the Weather Boys and all do a lot of interesting things that many of us would not do.
Okay.
Like, didn't you do the roller derby?
Roller derby, sure.
Yeah, like most people wouldn't do that.
Is that okay? All right.
Yeah, well, you've done things that, you know,
sure.
right. So
swung battle axes at each other's heads. Yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah, we don't have that. So these are skills that are allegedly that are secretly easy to learn. In other words, they sound complicated, but they're actually very easy. Wanted to see if you knew any of them. Okay. Like, for instance, can you do origami?
No. Well, what about that? What are the things? The question, the cootie catcher. Yeah.
Let's call that origami. Let's call that counting.
What's that called? The cootie catcher?
Yeah. Something like that. So it predicts your future. Yeah. It's very important.
Can you do magic?
No magic.
Can you find a quarter back here?
No.
How about a fancy dollar bill?
No, I got nothing. I wish I could.
How about lock picking?
Oh, for sure. I've picked locks in my household. We've got the doors that lock. All the rooms have doors, and they have the little key, and it's the little
thing that
little pinhole key.
Yeah, so you know how to do
those keys. You think we have that? Yeah, so sure.
These are all things relatively easy.
Allegedly easy to learn, although you think they're not.
I don't know. Anytime I've put in a bobby pin and kind of move it around a little bit like they do in the movies, it doesn't unlock my door.
How often you trying that, Chelsea?
Every once in a while, I want to see if I got it.
Can you hotwire a car?
Oh, yeah.
You can?
Oh, for sure, with a key.
Okay.
Let's put that in there.
How about, do you know the sky pretty well? Like, can you at night say, oh, that's this, and this?
Oh, because I have my app.
He's a scientist.
Because I have my app.
And your science background?
Yeah, for sure. I know all the stars in the sky.
Can you make balloon animals?
No, that is not relatively easy to learn.
I did twist one up once, the long balloon.
That's dumb.
Yeah, no. Absolutely. No, I can't make balloon animals.
Can you
I'm not
mend
a clown.
clothes?
No
Can you
offense.
add a button to a shirt?
Oh,
you know what? No, but I can bring them to the dry cleaner. My tailor can do that. I have ways. I know people.
That's the first thing
I
you
know
said.
none of these. I feel bad about myself
that one
now.
you do. That's the first one you've said that is easy to learn.
Can you juggle 3 balls?
I can. I can. Not 4, though. That's a different
Have you seen
skill
the size
entirely.
of his hands? Of course he can
I can juggle. Give me 3 things. I can juggle.
Oh, we watch Alan. We go to dinner. Alan, take care of the lobster. He just rips it
Oh,
open.
yeah. Are you kidding me?
It's like having just a big hand.
I don't need to lockpick. I just tear the handle off.
Finally, an Owen Wilson impersonation.
No, I wish I could. I wish. Oh God, he's the best.
All right,
he's fantastic. No, I feel very inadequate now
That
after
wasn't
all
on the
those.
list.
It was
Like 84 of them, and no,
it was
I got none of them.
Owen Wilson was on the list.
Was it really?
I think Matthew McConaughey would be better.
Well, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
All right, right?
Yeah, they all right.
Can you double Dutch?
I can, no, I have trouble
That's
single
hard.
Dutching. I got these big feet, you know, the clunky.
Can you Dutch oven?
No, well, who can't? Gross, Chelsea.
I'm just giving him a skill that he can master.
I'm
Two
just
under a blanket.
I'm going to go on a limb that he can and has.
Okay.
He's a dude.
Well, I don't know where to go from here.
Well,
I feel like you just knocked his self-esteem down. Now go be on TV.
I was feeling really good.
Go be on TV.
I know where we can go from here. Here's one we all know. But do you know how to do the weather?
Yeah, do the weather. Air quality alert today. Yeah. Look, we're beautiful weather. How was yesterday? Fantastic.
It was
we did it
nice.
again. It's
Yesterday,
great.
yesterday,
a little humid, but-
did a little grilling on the.
You thought yesterday was a little humid?
Just a tiny bit.
She's weak. Go ahead, Jay.
Boy, it's Wheel of Voices. How about I did a little grilling yesterday?
Yes.
And 6 o'clock, beautiful.
It's fantastic.
Great air quality.
Yeah.
And nice skies.
I know. That's the thing. Yeah, we do it again today. We have an air quality alert for ozone, not wildfire
Just
smoke.
really quick, I just like how you distracted us with your list over there so that we didn't talk about the real issue, which is you two.
Yeah.
You and Chelsea saying to Alan, we're ready for summer to be done.
Oh, that's it.
I think that people should know that.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I would like a nice 72 for the next 3 weeks.
It's the humidity and it's
is.
just the garage. My garage is the issue. But I'm really, let's get into the forecast.
Okay, that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, near 90 today. It's not, summer today, mid-80s the next couple. Shower storms Wednesday, Thursday afternoon. Friday, I'll say we're stuck in the 70s just for you guys.
All right, there's Alan Longstreet on 100.3 W. welcome to Tuesday. Hey, Emma's here today from our show. Emma from our show, who we never see.
Yay! Good morning, guys.
Emma handles all of our videos that you see, all of our show on Fox Local, because you can hear us on iHeartRadio, you can hear us on WNIC, but now you can watch us on Tubi and Fox Local. Like Colleen, our boss, watches every day live at 2:30.
Oh, that's awesome.
In her office. Yeah. So, and Emma puts all that together for us.
She does that.
She knows more about us than anyone.
I do. I was just telling Allison we can join a car club because we both don't have AC.
I know, and I feel so bad because no one else should have to be in a car club with me.
Maybe you guys should take pictures of your cars out there, and then
I will make you feel a lot better about your car real fast.
Isn't that nice? I mean, here's a young girl fresh out of college, and looking up to a broadcaster, a veteran of radio in Detroit.
You give me so much hope.
And you both have the same car problem.
We're gonna get there. We're eventually. That's the goal this summer.
What would you call it? You're having a lazy what?
A lazy girl summer.
She's having a lazy girl summer.
I love it so much.
I kind of am too. Once again,
look at you two in tandem.
Yeah, all I've been doing is going to the pool, and I got a new puppy, so that's about it.
Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan.
He's the cutest.
The dog's name is Duncan?
Yeah, after Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, that's great.
Right?
I love that.
Isn't it sweet?
Duncan. All you need now are a couple cats. You're set.
I know. I'm going to become a cat lady next. I already don't leave the house.
We'll have an Allison summer.
Let's spend a couple more days together.
That's right. That's
You'll
right.
be all in.
Got the pool down. Just need a couple cats.
Coming up here with a little Fox 2 News headlines. Big changes coming to Royal Oak. The downtown parking in Royal Oak. City leaders voted unanimously to replace the current paid parking system with something new. The details will be coming soon, but the way the parking system works and how you get tickets in Royal Oak and all that is changing.
So I also hope that in that they are changing there's a huge section in Royal Oak where you can only back in to park.
Yes.
And I refuse because I'm not backing into any spot ever in life. And so I hope that is going to be taken out too.
It's one thing to charge me crazy amounts to park, but you will not force me to parallel park.
I know.
I'm not doing it.
No.
I've successfully my whole life avoided
Back
it.
in parallel park.
Yep.
Like, I mean,
there's a
terrible.
little church by my house, and because we grocery shop at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning, when we go to Kroger, that church church must begin at 6 a.m.
Wow.
And when I say small church, I mean it's got to be the size of these two studios, and that's it. And so maybe there's 14 cars there max.
Right.
13 of the 14 cars are always backed in.
Really?
I just do not understand.
And sometimes
that.
we're early, I can see them all like back. I'm like, just
pull
in.
I know.
But what's going to happen that you need to get out
I know.
that fast?
You're always making the person behind you have to wait while and
the backing in.
What do you guys have against reversing? Because I don't mind it, especially with a backup camera.
Just pull
Yeah,
in.
just pull forward.
Guess what? It doesn't save you time because you're going to have to.
It's the same move.
It's the same move.
Yeah.
Do you want
You
the time?
front-loaded the effort.
You front-loaded the effort.
And
That's
you
all.
look douchey now.
I think I'm so used to living in Ann Arbor where it's like you don't have a choice. You see a spot, you're going to do what you need to do.
You're going to back in?
Yeah, you're going to do what you need to do to get
That is
that
true
spot.
about the spots. That is true.
Oh, Emma.
Yeah.
So young, so untainted. A massive wildfire has destroyed parts of the historic Grand Canyon Lodge and scorched 55,000 acres of across two fires, I should say. Arizona's governor is calling for a federal investigation into why the Park Service initially let it burn. So that's a big story. And then there's a bread recall you need to know about, impacting nearly 900 loaves sold at Walmart and Kroger in 12 states, including Michigan. The problem, undeclared hazelnuts in Lewis Bake Shop's artisan half loaf, posing a danger for people with nut allergies.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
That's a big deal. You can die from that. So, I mean, it's not like there's something massively toxic to everyone, but if you have a nut allergy, it's super toxic to you. So be on the lookout for that bread. All right?
I have a friend who is only allergic to hazelnut. No other nut. Just hazelnut. I thought that was,
My dad's like that with cashews. He's only allergic to cashews.
That's the best one. Pistachio, cashew,
The
toss
cashews
up.
are the rounded ones? Yeah, I hate cashews.
You do?
Hate them. I'll take a walnut, take an almond,
Over a cashew?
peanut. Cashew?
Wow.
Too sweet of
you
a...
probably like that big nut that's dry and...
The big nut that's dry?
And
talking about a peanut or
no,
macadamia nut?
Is it macadamia nut?
Oh, I love a macadamia nut. Delicious. Okay. All right, there you go. There are your headlines.
Hey there, Detroit. Thanks so much for joining us on this July 15th. I'm your host, Bree Teamer, and you're watching Fox 2 Detroit live at 3.
Live from the Fox 2 Newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
Well, Detroit police are on the hunt for 3 men wanted in connection to a deadly shooting on the city's east side. Now, you're going to see a picture on your screen in just a moment here, and that's of the victim, Michael Davis. He was killed last Tuesday in the area of East Otter Drive in Van Dyke. Police say 3 men wearing all black approached Davis, opened fire, and took off in a dark gray Chevy SUV with dark rims. Anyone with information is asked to call Detroit police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. There is a $5,000 reward for anything that moves the case forward. In Melvindale, police are investigating after a body was discovered at a local park. Officers responding to McGiddy Park off of Robert Street. The body was found near a shed. Now, right now, it's unclear who the victim is or the circumstances around their death. Be sure to stick with Fox 2 for any updates. A Detroit teenager is being held behind bars without bond after he allegedly crashed into a Madison Heights man and killed him over the weekend. Now, Roseville police say they tried to stop the 16-year-old suspect near 94 and Gratiot because he was behind the wheel of a stolen car. That kicked off a chase on westbound 696 before officers say the suspect blew a red light at 11 Mile in Van Dyke and barreled into Alex Habib, who was out Ubering around 3 o'clock Saturday morning. The 28-year-old man was a father of 2. He died, leaving his family and coworkers heartbroken.
I mean, they're obviously devastated. It's a senseless accident. I mean, just my own personal opinion, I just don't know why these high-speed chases continue to happen and people are senselessly taken from their families over a car, a piece of metal.
A GoFundMe to help Habib's family has now raised more than $80,000. If you would like to donate, there's a link on our website, fox2detroit.com. Well, balloons soar high into the sky in honor of an Eastpointe McDonald's manager who was brutally murdered on the job. Now, friends, family, and customers came together last night to honor the life of 39-year-old Jennifer Harris. She spent 15 years working for McDonald's. As a single mom, she devoted her time towards supporting her children and helping others along the way. That all came to a horrific halt when police say her co-worker, Afina Muhammad, stabbed her to death last Thursday.
It means so much to see everyone here today. Family, friends, crew, customers, because it shows just how many lives Jennifer touched, both in this restaurant and in our community.
She was just a real loving person. Like, she really cared about her family. She only talked about her family and everything, all positive stuff. And she just loved her coworkers. Like, she really loved her coworkers. She was outgoing to the customer. She was taking care of the customer. She was being respectful.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to raise money for Harris's children. And we also have a link to that GoFundMe page on our website at fox2detroit.com. Well, the Michigan State University Surplus Store is asking customers to be careful if they bought any pens last week. They could contain a very sharp surprise. If you pull them apart, a knife blade is inside. The pens were in a box marked free during the July 8th teacher sale. If you have one of the knife pens, you're asked to contact the store immediately.
I think it's unnecessary because we're just getting used to this one.
You'd be surprised the amount of times that people knock on our door that ask us, hey, how do these even work?
The opinions about the parking in Royal Oak about as plentiful as the meters that dot the downtown streets here, but soon these will be in the rear view. It's out with the old and in with the new system, that is.
It's 4 years later.
they're reacting to it, so hopefully it can only get better.
The Royal Oak City Commission on Monday night overwhelmingly approved getting rid of the current camera-based method and instead using a combination of the Flowbird meter system and the Park mobile app. That might sound familiar because it is the same setup as in Detroit.
It seemed like revamp would be a lot of construction. It would take away from the eats and the arts of the area.
Repeated ticket errors, technology that doesn't work consistently, and backing into these spots onto Washington, the cause of many of the complaints since the municipal parking system was first installed in 2021. This open house in May let locals test out some of the alternatives and led to the latest picks.
I back into parking spots regularly, but I have a teenage son. He would just keep driving around the block because it's a lot more effort, a lot more work.
The end game to have a simpler, more user-friendly parking process for everyone that will bring business to Royal Oak rather than deter it, driving those essential dollars elsewhere. Change here is blooming.
People should not be worried about where they're going to park or how much they're going to pay for parking if they're coming to the city to spend money.
We are told that these new meters should be installed sometime in the fall, with this new system up and running by 2026. Reporting in Royal Oak, I'm Robin Murdoch, Fox 2 News.
Well, after being closed during the pandemic for the first time in years, a couple of quarters in downtown Northville are back open, and we will have that story for you later on.
Indeed, it's been quite the talker here in downtown Northville. We're talking about Main and Center Streets in the downtown area, and you can see right behind me the barriers, the roadblocks have been brought down. The decision by the city to close Main and Center Streets during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic was to allow for more social distancing for outdoor dining. The group Let's Open Northville, a collaboration of business and property owners in the area, argued in a lawsuit that the closures contradict not only the city's charter but state law as well. Wayne County Circuit Judge Charlene Elder sided last week with the plaintiffs and ordered the city to bring down the roadblocks on Main and Center Streets in downtown by midnight today. Let's Open Northville's lawsuit followed by City Council's decision in 2022 to permanently close the two streets despite the recommendation of Northville's Downtown Development Authority to permanently reopen Center Street and keep Main Street closed for seasonal purposes. Now, we spoke with a few residents who live here in Northville. They are giving mixed reaction on the decision. We also spoke with Kate Knight, Executive Director of the Downtown Development Authority. Here's what they all had to say.
We've been living in Northville now for 10 years. We had our daughters 4 years ago, and we really enjoy the safety of the streets being closed to traffic and just business being thriving and restaurants that we can visit.
We're responding to a court order. It's been a long time in the making here, but we had a short window to really open the streets and activate for traffic, vehicular access. And so we've done that. As of last night, the streets are open, very calm, a great execution of dropping these bollards. And they provide a lot of flexibility. So in the future, we'll be able to create space, public space for public events, for special events, including a lot of our concert series, which we've been running for years downtown.
Once again, you have a lot of mixed reaction on this decision, but nevertheless, Center and Main Streets, a key location in downtown Northville, is back open. Along with the businesses, people can come out and enjoy. In Northville, Josh Landon, Fox 2 News.
Well, Michigan's newest country music festival is over before it even began. The organizers of the Country Rose Music Festival have postponed the concert until next year. It was supposed to begin on Friday at the Groves of Michigan in Brooklyn. The concert promoter released a statement saying, "Our goal has always been to create something meaningful for this community, and we want to give it the time and care it deserves." They say all tickets will be fully refunded. Well, Fox 2 Detroit's Live at 3 is just getting started. The air out there is not that great. Now, what's causing all the smoke and how long we're expected to be in dangerous territory? We'll tell you about that after the break. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit's Live. I'm your host, Bree Teamer. You're looking live downtown Detroit. We can see that fog, it's a little bit of fog in the air right now in the ether. We need to know what's happening. And we kind of do know what's happening. And we can expect another smoky day in Metro Detroit. An air quality alert is in effect for southeast Michigan today. The smoke is forecasted to linger throughout the day with improvement by late evening. Now, sensitive groups might want to stay inside or wear a mask if you do go outside. Now, this includes people with respiratory problems, children, and the elderly. Be safe out there. We don't want to hear about anybody having any respiratory issues or going to the emergency, being rushed to the hospital because they're having issues with their respiratory system. Just mask up, be safe, and protect yourself. All right, let's check in with Stephanie Mead and see what the temperature is going to look like for the rest of the day, maybe even for the rest of the week.
Yes, so it actually feels really nice outside. Humidity levels are down. Did you get to go outside?
I didn't go outside. I was in here working away.
Dang, it's really, really nice out there. It doesn't feel humid really too much. Most of our temperatures are near seasonal in the middle 80s. We do have the air quality alert in play that goes until later on tonight. Then we'll see improving conditions in terms of that smoke and that haze that we're seeing right now. It's kind of a mixture of the smoke and also a little bit of ozone out there too. So the air quality alert for every county in gray. So that's pretty much everybody here in southeast Michigan. Now moving forward, we do have the potential for a few showers and thunderstorms, especially as we head into the day tomorrow. Few of them could pop off, maybe an isolated stronger to severe thunderstorm out of that too. So we'll get to that here in a few seconds. Our current conditions show temps mainly in the middle 80s, a lot of 85s, 86s. So the sunshine for sure is putting in work in terms of those numbers, but also we have a slight southerly breeze as well. Our dew point readings are great. All things considered, we're in the upper 50s, lower 60s. So it's relatively dry outside just in terms of our dew points. Now, we've been having this conversation around the building. I guess it's all just personal preference, but just based off of the numbers, it's not super muggy outside. A few showers up near the UP. We are staying shower free today. We do have storm chances tomorrow though, so that lighter green means marginal risk, level 1 out of 5, slight risk across northeast Wisconsin, northern Illinois, including the Chicagoland area, and then parts of Iowa for tomorrow. So this is going to be an issue for us tomorrow. It's not going to be a big issue by any means, but they'll be around. A few showers will pop off during the afternoon. This is our Fox Futurecast model taking us through 2 to 3 o'clock. Again, an isolated stronger to severe thunderstorm out of this. This is not going to be a widespread severe weather event for us tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. 8, 9 o'clock, showers still around, comes to an end by around 9 tomorrow evening, with most shower and thunderstorm chances staying well north of us through the evening and overnight hours during the day tomorrow. High temps today could approach 90. I think a few spots are going to fall short. I do think that does include Detroit. I have about 87 through about 5 to 7 o'clock later on this evening. 71 tonight for an overnight low. It's going to be a little muggy. We'll start to increase our humidity levels through the day tomorrow. 86 with storm chances through the afternoon. I think we'll see a very similar trend Thursday. Our precip chances after that, though, diminish Friday, which is great when a lot of folks are getting off work. It's going to be a great evening for that, any outdoor activities. And then by this upcoming weekend, we'll increase our rain chances, but they're not going to be all-day rain events, so nothing to wash out any outdoor plans. Now, in terms of our humidity levels, they'll go up tomorrow and Thursday. They come right back down Friday, and then they skyrocket right back up this upcoming weekend. So there might be a little bit of a reprieve from the humidity, but it's not going to be an extended period by any means. Now, as we head through the later part of the week, it does look slightly cooler. And then we see those numbers get right back to seasonal, if not slightly above that, as we head through the next several days. So next week looks pretty warm, very seasonal stretch with temps in the 80s. And there could be some very hot temperatures too down near parts of the Ohio Valley and the Gulf states. Otherwise, the extended forecast shows a lot of 80s, few rain chances here and there too, but no all-day rains, so no washouts. Really comfy come Friday. Highs will be in the upper 70s, and then back to the 80s Saturday, Sunday, into Monday of next week.
Great forecast. I mean, not the greatest, but I mean, overall, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. You know what? We have, I think, during these summer months, you usually get that rain or thunder shower chance for sure. Luckily, we haven't been dealing with a whole lot in terms of severe weather, some widespread severe weather, but as a whole, it's honestly, it could be worse.
Yeah, it really could. Now, Steph, stick around for a little bit because I want to talk to you about this. And Howard, I want to know your opinion on this too. So this is something that's trending today. It's called the pearl earring theory. Now, it's a belief that women who wear pearl earrings are viewed as high maintenance, intimidating, and expensive. Now, it's not clear when this theory came about, but thousands of women are hopping on TikTok claiming it's true. I don't know. What do you think? Because, I mean, just because you wear pearls, I mean, they could be real, but they also could be fake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are they saying because you are attracted to pearls, like you like the idea of wearing pearls, you have more expensive taste? Is that what we're saying here?
I think, no, this is my thought process behind this. I'm not a pearl gal.
Yeah.
I also think that like pearls are usually associated with women who are a little bit older. And so maybe the older generation and the older women that wear them are a little bit more high maintenance and a little bit more, I don't know, stern in what they want, I guess. I don't know. But that's just kind of where my mind goes with it, is like, okay, pearls are usually what my grandma's wearing.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. Like, you know, your grandma would wear it to church or something.
Yeah.
But then I could also see it paired with like a really nice like tweed suit.
Yeah, but also like think
Like
about
a
who's
Chanel
wearing
vibe.
tweed.
I got some tweed in my closet.
I know, but are you regularly walking out wearing tweed? I feel like
I am
tweed
not.
is also like an older woman type of material. Not all. It's not. That's not like a generalization. Like, oh, everyone that wears tweed is old.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like I usually associate like tweed and pearls with like
with
an older woman, and
I
don't
could
know.
see that.
And that's not a knock to tweed or pearls because they are both very pretty. But I don't know. That might be kind of the connection that people are making.
Well, what do you got to say, Howard?
My grandmother wore pearl earrings every day, and I don't see them as like elitist or anything like that. I just think that was an older woman's thing.
Well, I think because generally they're more expensive, right? But one lady on TikTok, she's saying that she's chronically single, and after she discovered this whole theory on TikTok, it made sense to her.
I don't know. People are always looking for answers to everything, aren't they?
Yeah. And then another guy, apparently, they're attracted to women who wear red nail polish because it reminds them of their mother.
Ew.
Yeah.
I never really understood
that's
that.
Gross. Ooh.
That's something I never really understood. It's like, I get you want, similar traits in your partner as your mom.
I don't know.
Red nails remind you.
Nope.
So it's like, okay,
I
she's
don't know.
cooking you dinner and like you're looking at her red nails and you're like, mama.
I don't think if a man ever said that, oh, you remind me of my mother, I'd be like, oh. But not in a bad way. I just think that's really weird.
Yeah, I think that we've got to break that at some point. you know?
Yeah, that's pretty. I don't know. That's really weird. I don't know if that would be ever a compliment to me.
Would you ever date a mama's boy?
I have, and it did not work out well.
Yeah.
So,
And I bet you he was just like, Steph, I need you to wear red nail polish because it reminds me of my mom, and my mom is my world.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, it takes a while, but you're like, this is weird.
Yeah, I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so we've come to the consensus that pearls, they don't necessarily equal expensive, bougie individual. Is that our theory here?
I agree with that.
Okay, yeah, I think yes.
Okay, all right.
Cool.
Well, let us know what you think by hashtag Fox2 Detroit Live. All right, Steph, we'll check in with you on the weather a little bit from now.
All right, I'll see you then.
Well, much more ahead in our next half hour, including President Donald Trump making a huge announcement regarding Russia. Coming up, how the White House is applying pressure to reach an end to the war in Ukraine. We'll tell you about that. Plus, the MLB's biggest stars are taking center stage tonight. We get a first look at all of the fun happening in Atlanta up next. Fox 2 Detroit Live just getting started. We will be right back. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. I'm your host, Bree Teamer. Well, there's a new member of the Goff Huddle. Lions quarterback Jared Goff and his wife, Kristen, have welcomed the birth of a new baby girl. Rami Isabel Goff is her name, and Kristen announced the occasion by posting photos of the baby on Instagram today. Rami is their first child. Goff and the Lions begin training camp in Allen Park on Sunday, and this is just so precious, and I really love how they did the black and white filter over these photos. I feel like it adds a more sincere, somber look to this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, well, the MLB is taking over Atlanta, getting ready for tonight's Major League All-Star game. Baseball's best from the American League and National League will face off in the 95th Midsummer Classic. Now, fans have been lining tonight. We're told that 40,000 people will pack the stadium. Fans, players, and league officials picked 81 players to compete in tonight's 95th Major League All-Star game, including sluggers like Yankees powerhouse Aaron Judge and Dodgers superstar Ohtani. Now, some fans even came a day early, hoping to meet some of the very best in the game.
Hopefully we can see some of the players during the red carpet.
Ready to go. Got here early enough, and yeah, excited to see the festivities and people start showing up. So.
Fast forward 4 years, and fans are here at Atlanta, ready to go and ready to get back at it. Even a few Detroit Tigers are out there too. I believe we have 6, and I believe we actually have the most players from a single team out there as well tonight. Now, the game itself starts at 8 p.m. right here on Fox 2. Of course, you can watch that here. All right, well, let's get into our news cam. I'm just going to get unhooked here and take a walk outside to our newsroom. You see, I got to just clip off the wires a little bit and stand up, and then we will be on our way. It is that easy, and that's why we love our news cam over here. Now, let's get our walk going, our little journey. Now, for our viewers who don't know what our website looks like, because probably most of you have never been here, but for a lot of our guests, you know what this looks like. This is our website over here, and that's Howard. He is just helping us out this week because Tom is camping up north and doing all that fun stuff. But let's continue our journey. And by the way, our website is actually right inside of our newsroom, which also makes it really unique. So we can get all the breaking news right when it happens from our lovely staff members here. All right, let's continue our little journey here and see who we're talking to today. I believe we've got Dave Comer. Of course, we've always got Dave Comer, and we love talking to Dave because he keeps us very well informed. In fact, one of the stories that you told us about yesterday was our top story today. So look at you go.
There you go. Tomorrow's news today.
Yes.
Well, hi, Bree.
Hi.
We have a follow-up on a shooting that occurred in Dearborn last Friday, and it appears that there was a domestic shooting, fatal, but there will be no charges coming down from Kim Worthy's office. And the reason is they say that the shooter was defending another family member during the domestic violence incident. And this occurred, of course, in the south end of Dearborn near Southfield Freeway and Outer Drive and Walnut Street. And Friday night at 11 o'clock, that's when police and fire responded to the 1700 block, and they took the shooter into custody. Shooter owned the gun, and it appears there's going to be no charges. This just came down late yesterday, and we got it, first thing this morning. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And they said the exact quote was, "The office cited insufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was not acting in defense of another." So, really sad situation. You're dealing with a family member killing another family member who was attacking a third family member. So, really crazy. But as of now, it looks like it was a case of defending someone else, and no charges. So,
wow.
Okay.
And one thing I was prepping for that's going to be on later tonight is in HealthWorks. And Bree, hot temperatures, they get you a little heated under the collar, right?
They do.
There's a medical reason for it. And it is it's going to be on HealthWorks tonight. And Dina Santafanti is talking to a Cleveland Clinic psychologist. So if summer
About-
temps make your mood heated, there's a medical reason for it. And it's
So you're saying when I'm outside and it's 90 degrees and I'm sweating and I'm just agitated, I don't want anything to touch me. I don't want anyone to talk to me.
It's
That's
not your
for
fault.
a reason.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. To quote Goodwill Hunting.
Well, that is great to know.
Yes, and it turns out that there's a chemical named cortisol inside all of us, and it gets aggravated and agitated from the hot temperatures. And so really, the bottom line is we're not responsible for anything we do. I'm just kidding. I wish.
There's always a reason, right?
No, but yeah, you do see though, sometimes they say during warmer months, you see more reported cases of violence, or especially domestic violence. I'm sure this might have some connection to it, but coming up on HealthWorks tonight, Dina Santafanti gets to the bottom of it and talks about things we can do to kind of like manage it and to get around it in
That's
these
good. Managing
warm
it
summer
is
months.
great. All
Yep.
right. Thank you very much, Dave.
You got it, Bree.
Let's continue our journey over here to the other Dave. He promised me that he was going to talk to us today and tell us about some things that we need to know about.
How's it going?
Dave, what's going on? I noticed today that you don't have on your normal festive shirts that you have on.
Well, I
sometimes.
knew you wanted to make sure I was on the stream, so I tried to be a little less flamboyant.
No
I
Taylor
guess.
Swift? Come on.
No, not today.
Aw. Today we get Pizza Planet.
Yeah, I just got back from Disney, so it works.
Is that from Disney? Pizza Planet? Is
Yeah,
that like
Toy
a restaurant?
Story.
Oh.
From the movies.
Oh, okay. All right.
Um,
I wasn't really that into Toy Story, if you can't tell.
Fair enough.
Great movie, but okay, what do you got?
Well, one of the stories we're working on today, we sent Scott Wolchek out here. There was a church, Solid Rock Church in Dearborn. They were having the roof replaced, and yesterday the roofers put all of the weight in one spot and caused the entire roof of the church to collapse.
My goodness.
The pastor is saying that no matter what, they will have services this Sunday. He's not sure, obviously not there, but he's going to find a place, and then they will have their services this week.
It's going to resume this week on Sunday?
Yeah,
this is
obviously not in that building, but they're going to
okay.
find a place somewhere
I
to hold services.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be in this building. It's like, what kind of workers does he have?
But so Scott was out and interviewed the pastor this morning, and we'll have the rest of the story a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, today I worked mostly on sports-related things.
Okay.
Obviously,
the All-Star game.
MLB All-Star game coming up on
Mhm.
our channel tonight at around 7. The Tigers have more All-Stars than any team in Major League Baseball, which makes sense. We have the best record in baseball going into the break. Lauren Edwards was working on that story. I was kind of helping her out with a little bit with that.
Okay.
And then as the day went along, we also got...
What's the U of M business school evac?
That was actually... It ended up being nothing, but at the time, we weren't sure what was going on, but they evacuated about 50 people from the U of M Dearborn campus.
Oh, wow.
They thought it might have been some type of gas leak or something. They never actually told us exactly what happened, but nobody was seriously hurt. They took one person to the hospital. But it was actually during a first aid clinic, ironically enough.
Wow.
But they had to call.
So why did they think that this was happening?
Just a couple of people got lightheaded, and so they evacuated the building out of precaution. People ran out and were in their cars and in the parking lot. My sister actually works in the building. Thankfully, she wasn't there today.
Oh, my goodness.
But I was trying to get all the info we could, because I'm like, hey, you're here, but she was at home. Yeah, nobody was injured or anything in that. Nobody seriously hurt. Like I said, they did take one person to the hospital, a person in their 30s. They didn't tell if it was a man or a woman.
So multiple people were getting lightheaded, not just this man that was taken to the hospital?
Yeah, we're not sure if it was a man or a woman that was taken to the hospital. They didn't say. They just said a person in their 30s.
Okay.
But yeah, they thought it was a gas leak, but they got there. They checked for natural gas. They checked for all the different types of gases you would normally think were leaking, and they didn't find any, no CO2, nothing like that. So it was kind of weird. We're waiting to see if the Dearborn fire department will say anything else, but as of now, it only took about 20 minutes. They cleared the whole building.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's what we're here for, right? To get to the bottom of things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything else interesting come through today?
Jared Goff's wife gave birth to their first child.
Yes, we saw those pictures.
And then we also had another sports thing. Former Lions backup quarterback Teddy Bridgewater suspended from his high school coaching job.
Wow.
Which he actually, he was the Lions backup, and then he took a coaching job, and then at the end of that season, he came back and was the backup again last year. He was suspended actually because he was giving his players money for Uber rides and things like that, but according to the state of Florida's high school sports rules, you can't do that.
Oh.
So,
well, was he doing it very frequently? Or?
It seems like he was doing it whenever the kids needed a ride to or from practice, things like that, which seems pretty innocuous, but rules are rules, and if other schools aren't allowed to, you're not either just because your coach happens to be a multimillionaire.
Right, yeah. So I wonder if there's going to be some sort of fund, like moving forward, are there going to be some sort of fund to help out with things like that? Because you would hate to leave the kids or the players stranded.
I mean, it's weird, especially with something like that, because he was coaching at a private school. You'd think the kids would have access to those types of things. But
you would think, but that's not the case in every situation.
But the thing is, like, as a former high school coach myself, like when you take the job, you're given training on what exactly you're allowed to do and not do financially. So he should have known.
Yeah, he should have known.
But he swears he did nothing wrong and will continue to help the kids no matter what. Yeah. And said now he's actually free to be able to do more because he's not officially the coach at the moment.
Well, there we go. Glass half full, right? All right, Dave, thank you very much. And I was waiting for Mr. Nissen over there. I don't know where he went. He's probably just taking a quick break. Nonetheless, this is going to do it for our news cam segment. We are going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we will have more news for you. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit's Live, giving you another live look out at our beautiful city, downtown Detroit. I-75 right there. Looks like traffic is not existing right now. I'm sure that'll change in just an hour here, probably. We can also see Ford Field, Comerica Park, all the beautiful things that makes Detroit, Detroit. We can't see the Renaissance Center. That's on the other side of this shot, but we can see the Hudson's building, which is another part of Detroit, Detroit's newest addition.
I thought he was somebody that meant what he said, and he'll talk so beautifully and then he'll bomb people at night. We don't like that.
Now, President Donald Trump fed up with Russian President Vladimir Putin's games after Russia launches another round of attacks on Ukraine overnight. Now, the president and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte announcing additional U.S. weapons are now available to Ukraine. But that's not all. President Trump is also threatening severe secondary tariffs if Putin does not reach a ceasefire deal in 50 days. Now, that threat, a hefty consequence for major purchasers of Russian oil like China and India.
We want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there.
The president has said he wants to see an end to this. He's given Vladimir Putin numerous occasions to negotiate a ceasefire to stop these barbaric attacks.
The president says Ukraine and NATO allies should begin receiving Patriot missile systems within days. Well, the Supreme Court is allowing President Donald Trump to move ahead on his plan to carry out mass layoffs at the Department of Education. The High Court paused a lower court order blocking the layoffs of 1,400 people. Winding down the department was one of the president's biggest campaign promises. A lawyer for cities and education groups that sued said their lawsuit will continue, adding that no court has yet ruled on whether the plan is legal. Well, a rift with the Trump administration has emerged over information related to Jeffrey Epstein, the conflict pulling in Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino. President Trump publicly supported Pam Bondi as she faces blame for the Epstein memo, which stated Epstein's death was a suicide and denied a client list. Bongino, reportedly upset by the backlash, had a heated exchange with Bondi. Despite calls for her resignation, Bondi remains firm, recently firing 20 employees linked to investigations into the president. Well, new details today about the federal government's push to eliminate artificial food dyes. More than 90% of the country's ice cream makers say they're committed to getting rid of artificial colors from ice cream made with real milk within the next 2 years. Now, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he's been seeing an extraordinary response from the industry.
With this addition today of the dairymen and the dairy food producers, we now have about 35% of American food industry that has made commitments, and that's addition between 35 and 40%. And that is in addition to the 35% of the food industry that was already organic and healthy and chemical-free.
The announcement comes just days before National Ice Cream Day, which is on Sunday. I did not know that. Thank you. All right, well, 2 key streets in downtown Northville are back open for the first time in years. A judge ruled those traffic posts blocking the streets to traffic must come down. But we may not have heard the end of this. Fox 2's Scott Wolchek is live in Northville. And Scott, I understand there's a meeting tonight about all of this.
Yes, there is, Bree. Right now we are in downtown Northville. And you know what? We're actually on the street. You're going to be seeing some cars come past me during this epic live shot here because, you know what, people are driving by, they're honking because a lot of people are happy that these streets are back open, but you have a whole other section of people who are not happy. Some businesses out here, you know, they were using this for outdoor seating, right? They invested a ton of money into these outdoor patios throughout the pandemic. So that's really kind of the heart of the issue. So tonight, remember, there's going to be a meeting at 6:30 at Town Hall. This is going to be a city council meeting. They're going to have time for public comment, and then they're going to go into a closed session. What exactly is going to happen? Well, we'll find out a little bit afterward, but one of the things that could be on the table is a vote to try to appeal the judge's decision. Remember, this was a big lawsuit put on by the Let's Open Northville group. That was a big group of residents, and basically this was a whole legal battle. Judge finally ruled, hey, you got to open up the streets. They did. It's open right now, but could they continue to fight it? We'll find out tonight for sure.
Yes, Scott, and this is definitely something that we did see pop up all across the Metro Detroit area with restaurants during the pandemic. You know, trying to accommodate the 6 feet spacing and whatnot, and it's just something that kind of stuck around. Which, I mean, I don't blame the businesses for trying to capitalize on that, but it does become an issue when we see it interfering with, you know, traffic and things like that. So could definitely see why this is happening right now. How are business owners responding to this?
Yeah, you know, I think that it's a mixed bag where we have some business owners, you know, specifically probably the ones who invested all the money in having these outdoor seatings. They're pretty not happy with the roadway opening back up, right? Because this was, you know, bunch of people walking on out here. Hey, where am I going to put all this extra space? But you also have some business owners who said, hey, because the street's closed, nobody's driving by my business. Nobody is seeing that I have a business here, and I get more if people can park in front of my business. So that's why it's really a mixed bag. They don't know exactly the division of this, but to me, it does sound kind of 50-50 from just me being out here and talking to people.
Yeah, you're right. It does sound 50-50. I'm wondering if we're going to see this float out into Detroit and Royal Oak and cities like that to see if they'll scale back on some of those outdoor street seatings that they have out there as well. All right, Scott, thank you very much. What time is this story coming out? 5 or 6?
It's going to be 6 o'clock.
All righty. Thank you very much, Scott. All right, let's talk to Stephanie Mead about the weather out there. It looked like a beautiful day, according to Scott Wolchek's in his live shot.
Yep.
How's it looking out there?
Yeah, not bad. Temps are in the mid-80s right now, so a very seasonal afternoon for us here. And as we move forward, we do have more storm chances that we'll be tracking through the middle part of the week. Not today. Most will be in the mid-80s. We have a lot of sunshine overhead, most across the Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley, mid to upper 80s. There are a few folks in Chicago, northern Indiana, up in Fort Wayne that could be approaching 90 degrees, so it is a little warmer south and west of us. 86 up near the UP, where they have been seeing kind of cooler conditions compared to us here across the lower peninsula, but not necessarily seeing a whole lot in terms of active weather for us here. That is still south of us into Indiana, Illinois, down near Kentucky, so the Ohio Valley really picking up on more so of that active weather, a few showers and thunder showers associated with those folks there, but not necessarily seeing anything here locally, which is fantastic. So take advantage of the dry, quiet weather while we have it. Out near parts of Port Huron, nothing really too imminent there. As we take a look at our Fox Futurecast model, a lot of us are going to continue to see relatively quiet conditions here. So not necessarily seeing anything, again, too active. It's quiet. Our Fox Futurecast model shows that shower or thunder shower chance arriving as we head through the day tomorrow, but nothing really of note that is going to give us any severe weather tonight. Most of that, again, is coming tomorrow afternoon. 71 tonight. 3-day forecast shows temps in the 90s. Possibly today again. I do think that's going to be a bit more few and far between. Tomorrow into Thursday will be in the mid-80s with a few shower and thunderstorm chances too, so something to keep in mind. Precip chances over the next couple of days, they'll be there, especially tomorrow and into Thursday. Friday's mainly dry, and then this upcoming weekend as a whole should be okay. The at least the upper levels of the atmosphere here, this is taking into consideration our temperatures. It looks like a good bulk of the U.S. is going to remain relatively warm, and you notice there isn't going to be a whole lot of relief from the 80s, possibly even 90s for a few spots. Very hot, a bit closer to the Ohio Valley, so Indiana, parts of Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, picking up on those very toasty conditions. And some of it could actually inch closer and closer to southern parts of the state. So something most certainly that we'll keep in mind. And over the next couple of days too, it does show temperatures remaining relatively warm as well. So the extended forecast shows those rain chances sticking around, potentially heading into the end of the weekend and early next week too. Maybe a few spotty shower and thunder shower chances, but as a whole, not too bad for us here locally. And I think moving forward, a very seasonal stretch too, with temperatures remaining in the 80s. So honestly, not too bad.
Yeah, not horrible whatsoever. at
Yes,
all.
no, really. So in the grand scheme of things, you could still make those outdoor plans.
Yes.
Kind of like the past couple of days where they've just been popping here and there. That's going to be the trend that we see through the day tomorrow.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. Thanks, Steph.
Yep.
Well, Beyonce targeted by thieves. Still to come. What sensitive information was reported stolen? We'll tell you about that up next. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. Well, during a concert in Wales, music icon Stevie Wonder shoots down a conspiracy theory about his vision. Take a look.
I want to let the world know this, but I wanted to say it right now. You know, there have been rumors about me seeing and all that. But seriously, you know the truth. The truth is, shortly after my birth, I became blind.
Now, there has been long lingering rumors that Stevie Wonder was not blind, he could actually see. And thanks to several stories from celebrities over the years, that has been something that's been floating around. Here's Shaq on his encounter with the singer.
We lived in the building on Wilshire. So you park your car and the valet's down there. So I'm already in the building. I'm coming through the lobby. Door opens. It's Stevie Wonder. He comes in, says, "What's up, Shaq?" Presses the button. Hold on, it's true story. Presses the button, gets off on the floor, buys stuff, goes to his room. I went and called every person I knew and told the story. They believe me. No, bro, he got on the elevator. He's like, "What's up, Shaq? How you doing, big dog?"
Now, this was from 2019. There are similar stories out there floating around from basketball player Carmelo Anthony and actor Anthony Anderson, among others. Now, what I have to say about this is, you know, when you're blind, your other senses are heightened, right? So that means you can't see, but you can hear, you can smell, you can taste, and all of that is heightened to a certain extent. He could have heard Shaq somewhere in the ether. He could have recognized his steps, or somebody near him could have been like, "Hey, Shaq's right in front of you." there's so many different possibilities there. But
I think it's because, Shaq is just a presence.
That you can feel it even if you're not looking.
He might have taken a step and Stevie felt the earth shake.
Because Shaq is big. Because Shaq is pretty big. But come on. Let's not discredit Stevie here by saying he can actually see. And he told us, he can't see. He was born blind. All right, well, Beyonce becoming the victim of theft after unreleased music footage shows plans and concert set lists were stolen in Georgia. Now, this happened on July 8th, just 2 days before a 4-day stretch of the Cowboy Carter tour in Atlanta. Now, police say a couple laptops, headphones, some clothes, and accessories were also taken from a car rented by the singer's choreographer. Now, today, investigators say they do have an arrest suspect, and they have a warrant for him as well. All right, now the Emmy nominations were announced, and a lot of you have something to say about the nominations. Let's take a look. Let's go over to Tag Board, see what you guys are talking about. Now, this was actually really impressive. I want to start here because Severance with 9 acting nominations. This is so sexy of them. I have yet to watch Severance all the way through. Honestly, I know it's really good and all, but I have yet to watch it all the way through. I don't know. It's just not holding my attention like I would think that it would. Let's go here. Selena Gomez is now a 9-time Emmy nominee. Congratulations. She's killing it. From this to her beauty brand, she's doing all the things. Now, Beyonce's a good one. We were just talking about Beyonce. She received 4 nominations at the 2025 Emmys. We got Outstanding Variety Special, Outstanding Directing for a Variety Special, Outstanding Choreography for a Variety Programming, Outstanding Production Design for Variety Programming. And this is all her that special that she did, the Beyonce Bowl. That's what she received those nominations for. Now, this is the Pit cast and crew celebrating their Emmy nominations in office. Looks like everyone's all gathered around. It's super excited for that. That's got to be a huge accomplishment. Oh, my girl. I love her, Janelle James. She was nominated for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. If you haven't seen Abbott Elementary, I'm telling you, you got to watch it. It's really dry. It's really dry, but it's also extremely funny. Now, this is a good one. I believe this actor is from The Bear. Ayo Edebiri, the first woman at the Emmys to be nominated in the same year for acting and directing in a comedy series. You go, girl. RuPaul is now the most nominated reality host in Emmy history. Congratulations. We got Saturday Night Live on here as well. Huge for that. And just so many people were nominated and so many people are happy about that too. I love to see this. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show nominated for 4 Emmys. Wow, that's incredible. He made history in more ways than one with that. Now look, this is part of Beyonce Bowl, right? We see that clip that she received 4 Emmy nominations for. Gotta love that. Harrison Ford lands his first Emmy nomination at 83. I wonder if he's gonna be done after that, after he got his first Emmy. And you guys are just going on and on and on about this. If you don't see anything on here, it's because you didn't tweet anything about the Emmys. So if you want your tweet to be up on that screen so we can read along with you, use hashtag Fox2Detroit Live. We would love to hear from you at any time. Well, this is what I'm going to end with today. Something Beautiful by Miley Cyrus will start streaming tomorrow. The film is described as a pop opera fueled by fantasy. It's the visual companion to Cyrus's album, Something Beautiful. And the singer is also one of the directors. Something Beautiful starts streaming on Disney Plus tomorrow. All right, good stuff today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
stuff's not floated out. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday, July 15th. I'm your host, Jamie Sherrod, and you're watching Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4.
Live from the Fox 2 Newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
Royal Oak moving forward with plans to fix its troubled parking system. As Fox 2's Robin Murdoch explains, the City Council just approved a new agreement that could bring an end to the camera-based system now in place.
I think it's unnecessary because we're just getting used to this one.
You'd be surprised the amount of times that people knock on our door that ask us, hey, how do these even work?
The opinions about the parking in Royal Oak about as plentiful as the meters that dot the downtown streets here, but soon these will be in the rear view. It's out with the old and in with the new system, that is.
It's 4 years later. They're reacting to it, so hopefully it can only get better.
The Royal Oak City Commission on Monday night overwhelmingly approved getting rid of the current camera-based method and instead using a combination of the Flowbird meter system and the Park mobile app. That might sound familiar because it is the same setup as in Detroit.
It seemed like revamp would be a lot of construction. It would take away from the eats and the arts of the area.
Repeated ticket errors, technology that doesn't work consistently, and backing into these spots onto Washington, the cause of many of the complaints since the municipal parking system was first installed in 2021. This open house in May let locals test out some of the alternatives and led to the latest picks.
I back into parking spots regularly, but I have a teenage son. He would just keep driving around the block because it's a lot more effort, a lot more work.
The end game to have a simpler, more user-friendly parking process for everyone that will bring business to Royal Oak rather than deter it, driving those essential dollars elsewhere. Change here is blooming.
People should not be worried about where they're going to park or how much they're going to pay for parking if they're coming to the city to spend money.
We are told that these new meters should be installed sometime in the fall with this new system up and running by 2026. Reporting in Royal Oak, I'm Robin Murdoch, Fox 2 News.
Detroit police on the hunt for 3 men wanted in connection to a deadly shooting on the city's east side. This right here is a picture of the victim, Michael Davis. He was killed last Tuesday in the area of East Outer Drive in Van Dyke. Police say 3 men wearing all black approached Davis, opened fire, and took off in a dark gray Chevy SUV with dark rims. Anyone with information is asked to call Detroit police or Crime Stoppers. There is a $5,000 reward for anything that moves this case forward. Melvindale police are investigating after a body was discovered at a local park. Officers responding to McGinty Park off of Robert Street. The body was found near a shed. Right now, it's unclear who the victim is or the circumstances around their death, but Melvindale police tell us there is no danger to the community or the public. A Detroit teenager is being held behind bars without bond after he allegedly crashed right into a Madison Heights man and killed him over the weekend. Roseville police say they tried to stop the 16-year-old suspect near 94 in Gratiot because he was behind the wheel of a stolen car. That kicked off a chase on westbound 696 before officers say the suspect blew a red light at 11 Mile in Van Dyke and barreled into Alex Habib, who was out Ubering around 3 Saturday morning. The 28-year-old father of 2 died, leaving his family and co-workers heartbroken.
I mean, they're obviously devastated. It's a senseless accident. I mean, just my own personal opinion, I just don't know why these high-speed chases continue to happen and people are senselessly taken from their families over a car, a piece of metal.
A GoFundMe to help Habib's family has now raised more than $80,000. If you'd like to donate, there is a link on our website at fox2detroit.com. Balloons soar high into the sky in honor of an Eastpointe McDonald's manager who was brutally murdered on the job. Friends, family, and customers came together last night to honor the life of 39-year-old Jennifer Harris. She spent 15 years working for McDonald's. As a single mom, she devoted her time toward supporting her children and helping others along the way. That all came to a horrific halt when police say her coworker, Afeni Muhammad, stabbed her to death last Thursday. A GoFundMe page has been set up to raise money for Harris's children. We do have a link on our website at fox2detroit.com.
It means so much to see everyone here today. Family, friends, crew, customers, because it shows just how many lives Jennifer touched, both in this restaurant and in our community.
She was just a real loving person. Like, she really cared about her family. She only talked about her family and everything, all positive stuff. And she just loved her coworkers. Like, she really loved her coworkers. She was outgoing to the customer. She was taking care of the customer. She was being respectful.
That was, of course, the Eastpointe McDonald's owners and people who knew the victim there. We'll continue to follow this story right here on Fox 2. The Michigan State University surplus store is asking customers to be very careful if they bought any pens last week. That's because they could contain a very sharp surprise. If you pull them apart, a knife blade is actually inside of them. The pens were in a box marked free during the July 8th teacher sale. If you have one of the knife pens, you are asked to contact the store. Well, Michigan's newest country music festival is over. That's before it even began. The organizers of the Country Roads Music Festival have postponed the concert until next year. It was supposed to begin on Friday at the Groves of Michigan in Brooklyn. The concert promoter released a statement saying, "Our goal has always been to create something meaningful for this community, and we want to give it the time and care it deserves." They say all tickets will be fully refunded. Well, after being closed during the pandemic for the first time in years, a couple of corridors in downtown Northville are back open. This all comes after a ruling by a judge. Fox 2's Josh Landon explains.
Indeed, it's been quite the talker here in downtown Northville. We're talking about Main and Center Streets in the downtown area. And you can see right behind me, the barriers, the roadblocks have been brought down. The decision by the city to close Main and Center Streets during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic was to allow for more social distancing for outdoor dining. The group Let's Open Northville, a collaboration of business and property owners in the area, argued in a lawsuit that the closures contradict not only the city's charter but state law as well. Wayne County Circuit Judge Charlene Elder sided last week with the plaintiffs and ordered the city to bring down the roadblocks on Main and Center Streets in downtown by midnight today. Let's Open Northville's lawsuit followed by City Council's decision in 2022 to permanently close the two streets despite the recommendation of Northville's Downtown Development Authority to permanently reopen Center Street and keep Main Street closed for seasonal purposes. Now, we spoke with a few residents who live here in Northville. They are giving mixed reaction on the decision. We also spoke with Kate Knight, Executive Director of the Downtown Development Authority. Here's what they all had to say.
We've been living in Northville now for 10 years. We had our daughters 4 years ago, and we really enjoy the safety of the streets being closed to traffic and just business being thriving and restaurants that we can visit.
We're responding to a court order. It's been a long time in the making here, but we had a short window to really open the streets and activate for traffic, vehicular access. And so we've done that. As of last night, the streets are open, very calm, a great execution of dropping these bollards. And they provide a lot of flexibility. So in the future, we'll be able to create space, public space for public events, for special events, including a lot of our concert series, which we've been running for years downtown.
Once again, you have a lot of mixed reaction on this decision, but nevertheless, Center and Main Streets, a key location in downtown Northville, is back open. Along with the businesses, people can come out and enjoy. In Northville, Josh Landon, Fox 2 News.
Well, Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4 is just getting started. The air right there isn't too good. We'll tell you what's causing all the smoke and how long we are expected to be like this after the break. We'll check in live with meteorologist Stephanie Mead. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4. Your time right now is 4:12 as we take this live look out. A hazy view of downtown Detroit. You can barely see Belle Isle off in the distance there. It is 86 degrees out there, so it's warming up. Well, you can expect another smoky day here in Metro Detroit. That's because an air quality alert is in effect for southeast Michigan. That smoke is forecasted to linger throughout the day with some improvement pretty soon here by late evening. Sensitive groups might want to stay inside or wear a mask if they're outside. Now, this includes people with respiratory problems, children, and the elderly. Local firefighters turning up the heat with their new training. Macomb Township
of heat, infrared energy, and exercise.
At this hot work studio in Macomb Township, the flames are imaginary, but the sweat is 100% real.
They're actually enjoying it.
At least once a week, firefighters with Macomb Township Fire are stepping out of their normal role as heroes and stepping into a sauna, combining heat with infrared and exercise.
It's a blessing to give back to them and have them in here and to be a part of their training here at Hot Works.
Normally, these guys and gals take orders from their chief, captain, or lieutenant. In this case, it's a virtual trainer making the move in 130-degree heat.
This kind of weather that we're experiencing right now with the 90-plus days, it takes a lot out of you. So some of the guys on my shift have decided to come to Hot Works and try training for to loosen our muscles, to help detox a little bit from a fire maybe the day before.
The goal here is to help firefighters handle high heat in tight spaces under pressure.
That could be one of the benefits that we're going to get out of this, is be able to handle the heat a little better and work a little bit more efficiently.
Instead of seeing something burn, here they're feeling it through high-intensity interval training, Pilates, cycling, and yoga.
They're coming in to use the saunas to help with muscle recovery,
while getting acclimated to the heat.
After a fire, we could come into a dry heat room and help sweat out some of the stuff.
Sweating it out now so they can keep their cool when it really counts. In Macomb Township, Erica Francis, Fox 2 News.
All right. Well, Stephanie Mead joins us now with a closer look at the weather and all of that heat stuff.
Yeah. And luckily, it's been kind of seasonal, which is really nice. And I think we're going to continue to see a seasonal stretch moving forward. I think the big thing is that the humidity levels aren't super high. I was just outside because I don't know about you, but after being in this building, I need to thaw a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm a little cold in here, so I'm like, let's get outside.
It gets so cold.
It does. And I was out there for about 10, 15 minutes, didn't even crack a sweat. But it is warming up, but the humidity levels are not that bad.
We love the low humidity.
That is where I think a lot of people have the issue. And it's not really that big of an issue for today. What is, though, is the air quality. We have an air quality alert until tonight for all of these counties that are highlighted. So that's basically all of southeast Michigan because of the smoke that we're seeing for some of the Canadian wildfires, but also for ozone too. And just from our vantage points, we have been seeing some haziness too. So something to keep in mind, especially if you're sensitive to it, those who have asthma or any respiratory issues. If you don't, I don't foresee it being that big of an issue. Current conditions show temps in the 80s, 86 in Howell, 86 Pontiac, Detroit, 86, very popular number here across southeast Michigan. And our dew point readings are in the 50s and lower 60s. So it is low in terms of humidity right now. Now there is a little bit of activity up near northern Wisconsin, the UP, where they have some active watches warnings right now. But for us here locally tonight, I don't think rain's going to be an issue at all. Tomorrow, though, that's when things change. We have a marginal risk level 1 out of 5 across the entire state. Bullseye of the severe weather, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, so Milwaukee, Green Bay, Chicago. That's where we're running into issues with weather tomorrow. And the bullseye of that severe weather. So here's our Fox Futurecast model. Not a whole lot going on through the morning. Now through the afternoon, that's when we start to see see things really blossom here between 3 and 7 o'clock when we have that storm chance. That's when we have that isolated severe weather risk. And then overnight, we diminish any shower or thunder shower chance. And then carrying over into Thursday, spotty shower or thunderstorm chance will continue. Highs today for some spots could possibly push near 90. I think a lot of us will be in the upper 80s, though. And then tonight, those numbers start to come down to the lower 70s. With that, too, we're increasing our humidity. So it's not going to feel super comfortable overnight, and come tomorrow, we'll really start to feel those humidity levels up there. So that spotty shower or storm chance Wednesday, Thursday, highs will be in the mid-80s both days. And then once we bypass Thursday, our rain chances really diminish. Friday actually should be a pretty good day, just in terms of precip and also in terms of temperatures too. It's probably going to be the coolest day we see here in the extended forecast. And then Saturday, Sunday, we'll put in that chance for maybe a spotty shower or thunder shower. But again, nothing to cancel plans over. The extended forecast in terms of humidity, it'll be up there tomorrow and Thursday. It'll come down Friday and then back up through this upcoming weekend. And just in terms of temperatures, it has been really toasty for us here. Granted, it is July, so it should be, but we look to see and keep that heat around for an extended period here. And we could be talking possibly nearing 90 or lower 90s as we look towards the end of next week with high humidity levels too. So we're not quite finished up with heat yet. 70 forecast shows 80s, few overnight lows in the lower 60s leading into early Friday and early Saturday morning. It's going to feel really, really nice. And then Saturday, Sunday, rain chances return, and then we're fine as we head into early next week.
We had rain chances pretty much every week for the last few weeks, would you say?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But this is nothing that's out of the ordinary. I mean, we get those daily pops of rain here and there. Nothing that's going to wash the day out. And I do think moving forward, tomorrow morning, we're dry. Thursday, for the most part, we're dry through the morning. It's just these afternoon showers and storm chances with the humidity and the heat. That's when a lot of it kind of comes together.
Would you say it's enough for me to skip watering my plants and let Mother Nature take care of it, or should I?
No.
No?
I would definitely water your plants. I know it's just so hit and miss.
Yeah.
It's so I don't want your plants to.
Thank you, Steph.
To not.
I'm always looking for a way out, but I
know.
guess this isn't it.
It is such a pain though. You don't realize it until you're like, okay, I gotta.
It's like
fill
taking
this
care
up.
of a kid, especially if you have multiple plants, and I have about 6.
Six? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
That's a lot of plants.
I have 2 hanging baskets, and then I have 2 pots, and then I have 2 citronella plants outside, then just one inside.
Are they growing really good?
They are, especially the citronella plants. You know, those kind of help repel the mosquitoes, so those are growing really fast.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, I want them to keep growing and not die. So.
Well, that's like the best reward is seeing your plants like
it
thrive.
Is. That's why I just go out there and just go ahead and water them, even when I don't feel like it. So I'll get to it.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Steph.
Yeah.
Well, former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick is getting some flack as he pitches in for the community. Not everyone is welcoming his presence, but community leaders are coming to his defense. Fox 2's Dave Kinshin has more on the story.
Normally, when a former mayor hits the streets of Detroit, it's a welcomed show of giving back. But when ex-mayor Kwame Kilpatrick teamed up with New Era Detroit for a street cleanup and community engagement.
Walk right on their block, like walk to their door, and make sure that their children and them have a sense of self, but also a tone.
It was met with scorn on social media.
I said I was not going to go there today.
It prompted New Era Detroit leader Zeke Williams to go off, defending the city's disgraced former CEO who served about 7 years' time for racketeering, conspiracy, fraud, extortion, and tax crimes.
You can say whatever you want to say about Kwame and the things that he did wrong, but nobody want to talk about all the that he did right for the city, all the things that he got right for the city, being a young black man in politics. It's just complete. Y'all don't never pop out and show up to put in no work for the block and community and got a problem because the former mayor of the city of Detroit want to come out and put some boots on the ground and engage in the neighborhood. It's insane.
Everybody's done something that's, could be questionable.
Fellow Detroit activist Pastor Maurice Hardwick, also known as Pastor Mo, says everyone deserves a second chance.
Let the man redeem himself. Let the man, he's a whole new man now. You're going to keep on putting people in the mud. If that's the case, put everybody in the mud. She served this time and was released. Let it go. Release. It's time to move on in life.
President Donald Trump granted Kilpatrick clemency at the end of his first term, commuting his 28-year prison sentence, setting him up for a comeback as a minister and advocate for Trump's policies. The former mayor pitched the Trump-Vance campaign to black voters during last year's presidential campaign cycle, headlining the Oakland County Republican Party's annual dinner.
My house was on fire. My wife and all my children were in it. We couldn't get out. Firefighter kicked in the front door. He ran upstairs. He dragged me at 300 pounds out the door.
Many community activists say it's simply time to move on in a way that unites the city.
Salute to Zeke, salute to Kwame Kilpatrick, and salute to Detroit. Let's do better. Let's build.
Meantime, the former mayor is continuing his ministry. He's delivering a sermon in Atlanta next month. Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
All right, thanks, Dave. The search continues to find people missing after terrible floods in Texas and to rebuild the community. We'll have the latest on their efforts after the break. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4. Search and recovery operations were paused for a second day in a row after Texas was pounded by another wave of rain. Now, this all comes just over a week after the initial catastrophic floods that killed more than 130 people. Fox's Kaylee Schuyler joins us from Center Point, Texas. And Kaylee, tell us what it's looking like out there and how those efforts have been so far.
Hi, Jamie. Well, the good news out here is that it's been mostly clear skies today, and more volunteers continue to show up. But officials tell me that the unfortunate reality is that they believe many of the victims are buried underneath debris and mud. So you can see out here right now, a lot of crews are along the riverbank because they believe that's the most important part of the Guadalupe River to search. So the focus of the recovery effort is now divers, dogs, and heavy machinery. And they're all working closely together in the Guadalupe River to help bring closure to the families of the more than 100 people still missing.
Dog's nose is 1,000,000 times more sensitive than mine. So the dogs, what's good about them is they can smell someone who's been buried around, and it's all by feel. There's no visibility, as I was telling you before the interview. You can put the lens cap on and see just as much as we do. It's all by feel. We're feeling around. You have to know the difference between remains and tree limbs because everything's been soaked.
So this is Padme. She is a 9-year-old Belgian Malinois working with the disaster dogs of Illinois. And while she is very cute, she is doing very serious work in the field. Her handler tells us she's responsible for finding several victims in the devastation. So the canines can smell deep into the ground. So they'll alert crews when they think they have found a victim, and then dive teams will head into the area and use radar technology to assist. The Kerr County Sheriff says the search for missing people could take up to 6 months, but setting a time estimate is difficult. Now, the PIO for the volunteer fire department out here says that it might seem like things are moving slow to some people, but this is very meticulous work because it's not a cleanup effort, it's a recovery effort. In Center Point, Texas, Kaylee Schuyler, back to you.
And Kaylee, do you know how much longer they plan on continuing these recovery efforts here?
So volunteers say that right now they don't have a deadline for how long they're going to stay out in this area. But yesterday, Kerr County Sheriff said it could take up to 6 months, although that's kind of hard to guess. So, but we have seen some volunteers roll in today. They actually work for a nonprofit called Smart Aid, and they say they come into areas that have been hit with natural disasters, and they try to focus on the infrastructure that the area could need for the weeks and months, if even years to come. So they said they were looking at updating, alert technology. They could bring laptops into people, just making sure everyone is taken care of, not just, with the days after a natural disaster, but for longer and longer to go.
Yeah, such a heartbreaking situation, but it's heartwarming to see those volunteers near and far coming out to help. Thanks, Kaylee.
Thank you.
Well, volunteers continue to deliver hope in more ways than one to the hurting community of Kerrville, Texas. As we just mentioned, those recovery crews, they are helping. One resuming the search for those still missing in the South Central Texas floods. Volunteers coming from all over the country to help rebuild that community. And the resulting efforts are more visible than they are. That's because there's so many of them. Through the massive piles of debris picked up, they're also helping those buildings get put back together.
Our forefathers went through many more natural disasters and man-made disasters than this. And they didn't have bobcats. They didn't have pickup trucks. They didn't have people coming by giving you meals throughout the day and water. And they didn't have volunteers that came by the dozens to help with power tools and bringing generators. And so, who am I to complain at this point in time?
Well, the July 4th floods killed at least 132 people. Texas state officials say 101 people are still missing, which is down from a previous unaccounted total of 160. Well, the Supreme Court giving President Trump the green light to drastically downsize the Department of Education. It's a move the administration says is badly needed. But critics claim it will abandon some of the nation's most vulnerable children. Fox's Kevin Uretsky explains.
A big win for the Trump administration Monday in its goal to remake America's education system. The Supreme Court giving the administration the okay to fire thousands of workers at the Department of Education.
This lifts the handcuffs off of what we've been trying to do, which really is to get education back to the states where the president believes it does belong. The best education is that closest to the student.
The ruling means the department can lay off nearly 1,400 employees. That's roughly a third of its entire workforce. The White House points to steadily falling test scores in math and reading ever since the department was first created in 1979. But critics say dismantling it will hurt more students than it helps.
There are millions of Americans with disabled children who count on the Federal Department of Education to be the guarantor of civil rights. There are tens of millions of Americans whose student loans are managed by the Department of Education.
It's not clear what will happen to student loans. Court filings indicate they could be managed under the Treasury Department.
Also Monday, 24 states and Washington, D.C. filing a lawsuit against the administration, pushing for the release of nearly $7 billion in after-school and summer program funding. The lawsuit alleges low-income families will lose access to those programs if the money isn't released soon. The education layoffs follow similar cuts at the State Department, where around 1,300 employees were let go last week. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
All right, joining us now, producer of The Pulse, Aaron Jordan. And Aaron, we already hear about schools being understaffed due to teacher shortages, but what could these cuts to the Department of Education mean for us here locally?
Yeah, and the biggest concern, Jamie, is the fact that advocates say that it's going to really impact the ability for schools to support special education, also distribute financial aid, and enforce civil rights laws. Now, right now, that all falls under the Department of Education. But if the Department of Education is dismantled like the Trump administration wants to do, we know the Treasury is expected to take over federal student loans. Civil rights could be managed by the Department of Justice, and that is per Education Secretary Linda McMahon. She said that during her confirmation hearings. Now, lower court judges said that layoffs of those 1,400 workers, more than 1,400 workers, could impact, it would cripple the department is what they're basically saying. Those workers have been on leave, though, Jamie, since March, since those layoffs were even announced. President Trump, you probably heard, they're lauding the decision, saying that it's returning education back to the states. We talked about what advocates are concerned by, and really the biggest takeaway here, yet another ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court along ideological lines. That's really a theme we have seen over the last few years, but especially under the Trump administration.
Yeah, and is this the final ruling? Because we know different districts and states have actually spoke out against this. So is this final?
Yeah, and that's the big question at this point. And really the biggest takeaway as well is President Trump can't unilaterally dismantle the Department of Education. He can't get rid of it altogether. That was created by Congress, so it would take an act of Congress to get rid of the whole thing. But he can, it seems like, based on what the Supreme Court is saying, weaken it to the point where, like we saw with USAID, really can't do its job.
All right. Well, switching gears here, the President and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, they announced more U.S. weapons are available to Ukraine. The president has also threatened some severe secondary tariffs if Putin does not reach a ceasefire deal within the next 50 days. Talk about the potential consequences of all of this here.
So the real question is, how is this going to be implemented at this point, Jamie? There's no specifics on how that would happen, but President Trump did describe them as secondary, which basically means they would target Russia's trading partners trying to isolate Russia in the world economy. Now, you said it. He said Moscow has 50 days to reach a settlement, reach a peace agreement, or they will face, quote, very severe economic consequences. That 50-day deadline puts that deadline into September. Now, some European observers say, hey, that's simply too long. Ukrainian officials, they haven't commented on this. Now, as far as those weapon sales go, NATO's basically the middleman for U.S. weapons to Ukraine. European countries have agreed to buy those weapons. They are giving those to Ukraine. Those are the weapons that, of course, were paused a couple weeks ago. President Trump came out just days later saying, hey, we need to start giving those weapons to them again. President Putin, Russian President Vladimir Putin, he hasn't budged when President Trump has made deadlines and threats in the past. So it'll be really interesting to see how he reacts this time around, whether it's more of the same. And President Trump told the BBC today, quote, I'm disappointed in him being Putin, but I'm not done with him. So it sounds like he's still trying to reach some sort of agreement with both Russia and Ukraine to try and broker some sort of settlement, and he's hoping that talks will go somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully we can see that happen.
Yep.
What else is happening on the Post tonight?
So we have got Oakland University political science professor Dave Dulio on talking about the Department of Education ruling. He's also going to be talking about the fallout from the Epstein files. We've really seen a lot of the MAGA faction turning against President Trump, questioning why these weren't released when they're saying, hey, you promised they would be. Now the Department of Justice, the Trump administration, is not doing that. So it's going to be really interesting to see the fallout with that and what Dave Dulio has to say about that as well.
All right, looking forward to it tonight and every weekday night at 11:30. Also, you can catch the replay on Fox Local. Thanks so much, Aaron.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right, well, coming up, we have much more to get to. We'll take a look at sports with Jennifer Hammond, and we'll actually introduce you to a new baby lion making its debut. That's after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4. It is 4:39 right now, and you can see that haze is still out there from the smoky wildfires, and it is 86 degrees. Well, there's a new member of the Golf Huddle. Lions quarterback Jared Goff and his wife Kristen have welcomed the birth of a baby girl, Romy Isabel Goff. That's her name. It's a beautiful name. Kristen announced the occasion by posting photos of the baby on Instagram today. Romy is their first child. Goff and the Lions begin training camp in Allen Park on Sunday, so we're happy he got to enjoy the birth of his baby girl before getting to that. Aww. Jennifer Hammond joining us now. She was back here just jaw dropped.
I'm looking.
And oh my gosh. Oh,
I don't know. Can you zoom in, Howard? There's
like
little Romy.
Oh, that's adorable.
She's cute.
Oh, I love her name too.
That's a darling name.
Beautiful.
You know what's so cute? So I don't know if you've watched the Netflix series Quarterback at all.
No, it's on my list though.
Jared Goff is one of the quarterbacks on there this season. One of the three with Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins. And they were showing them going to their little ultrasound appointment. And he had on a little ball cap that said Girl Dad.
Oh
so
my gosh.
Very cute. And he'll be a great dad. And I think it will just complete things that had happened before training camp.
Definitely. So happy for them.
Yes.
All right. Well, moving on here tonight.
I know, sports.
We can talk about the cute little baby all day, right?
Yes.
Well, the Midsummer Classic returns with Aaron Judge, and then we have a few more people. One of them, I don't know how to pronounce their name, so I'll leave that to you.
I'm gonna give you the right names that you need to learn how to pronounce. Glaber Torres, Riley Green,
that's easy.
Javi Baez, Zach McKinstry, Tarek Skubal, the starting pitcher for the American League, and as well Casey Mize.
Okay, only one of those threw
Tigers. 6 Tigers in total are down in Atlanta for the game, and it's really cool to see. We just saw actually a little while ago Tarek Skubal walking the red carpet. You'll hear from him coming up tonight on Fox 2 News at 5 and 6. And just so cool to see him down there, kind of in his element. He's starting a big game today, and yet there he was and swagged out in an all-black outfit with the great sunglasses on. Just calm, cool. Casey Mize signing autographs. I mean, it's really great for these guys to kind of have their moment in the sun. The Tigers have the best record in baseball. They stumbled a little bit into the All-Star break, losing 4 straight games. But what a great moment for these players and for this team. I mean, it's really kind of a culmination of the fruits of their labor from last season, August all the way on, when they made that run to an improbable playoff appearance last year in the wild card and beat Houston. AJ Hinch just has these guys lockstep playing their best ball right now, and they're going to be a team to contend for the World Series. The only thing they need to do is go out and get somebody before the deadline, July 31st, the trade deadline, and I'm sure Scott Harris is going to do that and give them some strength and depth in the bullpen to help them make that run.
Yes, this is so exciting. I mean, 6 of our players participating in this. How long has it been since, have we had this many before?
2006, I believe they had 6 players. It's been a minute since they've had this many guys from the Tigers in the All-Star game. That was also the same year that they went to the World Series. And the 11.5 game lead that they have in the division is also their largest lead in the division since they went to the World Series in 2006. So this kind of has the makings of a really special season, James. It's starting to feel like this is a team that is destined for great things.
Definitely. Listen, the Tigers have been making us proud. We love to see it, and we're looking forward to continuing to watch them do so. Let's take a listen.
I don't plan on using them. I probably am not going to use them in the future. I'm going to let the catcher do that. I have this thing where I think everything's a strike until the umpire calls it a ball. So with how good guys are behind the plate, you know, Cal's going to be really good behind the plate. So I don't know the strike zone a ton, but I mean, I guess there are some pitches that you think are strikes and you want them back, but I also think it's part of the game, and I love the human element of the game. You know, I think maybe some other guys don't, but yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I don't plan on using it.
All right. They don't sound worried at all there.
So actually what they're talking about, I want to just shed a little light on this. Tonight, what they're going to be doing is a first time using the box, the strike box. It's going to be automated balls and strikes called. Greg Cantor, are they still going to have an ump behind the plate too as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they are. Okay, so my sports producer.
So this is new and the first time.
This is the first time. So they do it in minor league baseball. They have used it before in the minors, and they're talking about implementing it because there's a lot of people who say, hey, you know, when we watch baseball on TV and we see that little rectangle and you see a ball go outside and they call it a strike when it's outside the zone, there's some complaints about it. So they can't challenge balls and strikes at this point in the MLB game. But what they're going to do is they're going to kind of run this through. It's going to be a trial basis tonight, and they'll see how it works out. And potentially, maybe in seasons coming ahead, they will eliminate humans behind the plate.
Wow.
I'm with Scoobs. I don't like the idea. I like the human element of it. But I do think that there should be, in critical calls and in big games, with a World Series on the line, you should be able to challenge and say, hey, that was not a strike.
Yeah, that's so interesting. We'll see how it plays out, and if it will be something they keep for the future.
Interesting
for sure.
to watch.
All right, we're looking forward to more of this tonight in sports. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Well, as those summer temps invite more people outside, researchers are warning of the growing number of diseases that can be contracted from various insects.
Getting bit by a mosquito or a tick this summer could be more than just an annoyance as more diseases and health risks begin to spread across the country.
So we used to have 1 medically relevant species of tick, and now we have 5.
Researchers like Sarah Short at The Ohio State University say vector-borne diseases, which are germs spread from insects like mosquitoes and ticks, are becoming a greater risk because of rising temperatures.
The changing landscape of vector-borne disease is something that I wish people would continue to stay aware of.
Short says mosquitoes and ticks often seek out human blood because the proteins are used to help produce their eggs.
When they're doing that, they're accessing our bloodstream. So if we have blood-borne pathogens in our blood, the mosquitoes will suck up those pathogens. And then some of the pathogens that are sometimes in our blood can infect mosquitoes.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says anyone can be at risk of getting sick from a single bite by the insects. The agency says the best way to protect yourself is wearing clothes that are treated with an insecticide called permethrin.
It kills ticks on contact. You can get clothing that is embedded with it. You can purchase it or you can treat it. You can also wear repellent.
If you do find a tick on yourself, Short says there are safe practices for removing it immediately.
Use either pointy tweezers or a tick removal tool to grasp the tick as close to the skin as possible and pull up without twisting. And then save the tick in a baggie with some hand sanitizer is a great solution, or in any sealed container, and then watch for symptoms.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
All right, well, Stephanie Mead is here with us now. That's Howard's fault. He hit the button. He didn't make sure you were ready. To be fair, it caught me by surprise, too. I just reacted a little quicker than you did.
I was disgusted. I was like, oh, man. It's okay, though.
Yeah, I have one. I was just telling Jen, I have a mosquito bite on my ankle that is driving me crazy.
That sucks.
Yeah, I love the summertime, but the bugs and the insects, especially the ones that make you itch, not a fan.
No, I have a spider bite on my pointer finger.
A spider bite. Now, does that itch or just hurt?
It hurts, and I was trying to figure out what it was, and it doesn't itch, thank goodness, because I think I'd be going at it all the time. But yeah, the bugs are not the best in the summer. I think that's really the only issue
that
we have here across Michigan when it comes to the summer is the bugs. And it's been really wet too, so the mosquitoes have been really out in full force just because of the rain. And we do have more rain off on the horizon for us here. Not tonight, but potentially as we head through the day tomorrow. We have an air quality alert overhead too. That's until later on tonight for all of the counties in gray. Current conditions right now show temps are warming up. It is getting warm out there, but luckily our humidity levels aren't sky high, so it still feels pretty okay out there, all things considered. 86 in Detroit, 86 Pontiac, 87 in Mount Clemens. Now our dew point readings again, numbers are reflecting a nice feel outside. It's not feeling oppressively humid by any means. There could be a few spots where it feels maybe slightly uncomfortable, but you can be outside for an extended period of time without actually sweating profusely, unlike past days where we've had those humidity levels sky high in the 70s, temperatures in the upper 80s, so it has felt a lot worse. We have severe thunderstorm watches out near northern Wisconsin, parts of the UP. Tomorrow, we have that risk for picking up on maybe an isolated stronger to severe thunderstorm. It is a low-level risk, but it is still there across the entire state tomorrow afternoon. So let's take a look at our Fox Futurecast model for that. Overnight into early tomorrow morning, mainly dry. Now through the afternoon, we'll see those storms bubble up. We'll keep that risk in through about 9 o'clock, and then we'll diminish that risk as we head through the overnight and into early Thursday. Today, our daytime highs could come close to 90. I think it's going to be a bit of a stretch for some spots, but we'll see a lot of sunshine. Our temperatures are kind of peaking around now until 7 o'clock. Otherwise, lows tonight will fall to the lower 70s. Humidity levels are going to begin to go up too for sure, so I do think you'll notice a bit more of an uncomfortable feel tomorrow into Thursday. Most will be in the middle 80s though, so it's not going to be super hot. It's going to be closer to seasonal, but we'll see those shower and thunderstorm chances both days. And I do think tomorrow's going to be wetter than what we see on Thursday. Precip chances after that look to remain low Friday. Muggy meter over the next couple of days too. All over the place just in terms of those numbers. And then by the end of the week, we see cooler weather, but it is very, very brief because we do see more hot conditions as we look towards possibly the end of next week. And our extended forecast doesn't go out until the end of next week, but we're able to look at some long-range models, and it does indicate that we'll see some more toasty weather for an extended period here. But the extended forecast as a whole looks seasonal with some shower chances here and there over the course of the next 7 days.
All righty. Thank you, Steph.
Yeah.
Well, the best in baseball take the field tonight in the All-Star game. It is a good time for the Tigers to take a break since they're on a losing streak right now. But fans are holding steady. We're staying encouraged.
Yes,
Fox 2's Lauren Edwards joins us live with much more. Lauren, what are people saying about the team? All right, looks like we're having some issues hearing from Lauren. We'll try and check in with her later in the show. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. It is an annual fundraiser to uplift and strengthen Metro Detroit families. 313 and the D is back. And joining me now is Monique Phillips with Matrix Human Services. Welcome to the show, Monique.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So tell us what inspired the 313 and the D rooftop fundraiser.
Well, 313 in the D is Matrix's annual rooftop fundraising celebration. It makes 12 years that the event has taken place. This year's event will take place once again on the rooftop of 350 Terrace in downtown Detroit. 313 in the D is a fundraiser that benefits our Eastside Neighborhood Community Hub called the Matrix Center. And at the Matrix Center, we host a number of basic needs, supportive services, and other programs to uplift families from the throes of poverty and put them on the pathway toward self-sufficiency.
Incredible. And for this event, what can people expect? It sounds like you're already bringing the vibes with the rooftop situation. So what else will be happening?
Yes. So we have dubbed 313 in the D as the hottest rooftop party in the city of Detroit.
Right.
And so what makes this event so unique is that it is not a formal event. It really is a celebration. And so it is an opportunity for all of our supporters to come together in one setting and to celebrate the impact that Matrix Human Services have made in the lives of nearly 20,000 individuals every single year. And so it really is an incredible celebration. It's minimal programming, it's food, it's fun, it's laughter, it's music. And we're there to just celebrate the impact of all of the wonderful individuals who help to impact so many lives across the city of Detroit and beyond.
Yes, and speaking of impact, how will these funds help you to help Metro Detroit families in need?
So this fundraiser is extremely important. Funds, like I said, support our Eastside Community Hub, the Matrix Center. And so the funds will be used for a number of purposes. So we have youth and workforce development programming. As a matter of fact, we have just launched our Skills to Build workforce development program. And within that, we have launched a pilot program where we are training individuals in the areas of EV and clean energy. And we're so thrilled that we've been able to place individuals in high-paying, good-paying jobs through that workforce development / job training opportunities. We offer youth workforce and youth sports and recreation opportunities. We offer senior services. We offer housing stability services. We have a medical facility that just opened up last year.
Wow.
So that we are giving people an opportunity to be close to the care that they need to take care of themselves and their families.
That's amazing. How long have you been doing this fundraiser? And do you know about how many families you've been able to help?
So this year makes 12 years.
Wow.
12 years that we've been hosting 313 in the D. And all 12 years have been on the rooftop of 350 Terrace. So they've been amazing partners for us. And we impact more than 20,000 families and individuals every year.
Amazing. Talk about the power of the community coming together to help those who need it most, especially families, especially when there's, kids involved.
Exactly. So without support from the community, we cannot do the work that we do. Full stop. If we don't have the help of our corporate partners, of our volunteers, of our individual donors, and other stakeholders, we cannot impact the lives that we are impacting on a day in and day out basis. And so the support from the community is definitely needed, especially in this environment that we're in right now. And so we're just working very diligently to build new relationships, strengthen the relationships that we currently have, and get the word out about what we're doing here at Matrix Human Services, especially as we are embarking upon 120 years of service next year. And so we intend to be around for another 120 years and beyond. And so the support is needed. Tickets are still available. Sponsorships are still being accepted. And we just look forward to seeing everyone there.
All right. Well, you can find more information or get your tickets at matrixhumanservices.org/313 in the D. Monique, thank you so much for joining us and for all that you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's all for us here on Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4. Stick around. Fox 2 News at 5 is next, and you'll be able to check in with Lauren Edwards live at Comerica Park. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.